Kangaroos, of course, two big losses to Sydney and St Kilda by 51 and 65 points, and the Bulldogs coming off a big loss also to Port Adelaide. And there's big raps on Cameron Faulkner. Number 18 for the Bulldogs, as we see Johnson toe pokes the ball over the line for a boundary throw-in. And the raps on Cameron Faulkner, as good as a young Andrew McLeod, that's pretty big.
Well, that is big, KB. Hope you can live up to it, because as I said, they just need that excitement factor, and a lot of good judges say that he's got it.
Murphy picking up Harvey, so there's a keen matchup. Chance for Rawlings, trying to get the handball out. Scotty West burrows in after the ball. Cooney to Darcy, 45 metres out. He's missed to the left. And the inaccurate kicking continues for the Bulldogs.
He's coming off 7 goals, 22 last week. Just the behind there, but they've opened up with the first score of the afternoon. Crowd still building. David King to bring the ball back in for the Roos. Decides that he's the best option to the pocket. Wide to Simpson, who found himself clear of Murphy. The skipper, averaging 26 disposals so far in the first 5 weeks. That kick didn't look good off the boot, but it was in fact a very clever one and well weighted to Harris. Goes back to Simpson, who will have to kick it quickly and does so. Marking contest. Jones couldn't get it. Murphy was in front, wrapped up by 2 Kangaroos, being Harvey and Jones. Will have a ball up.
Just having a look down at defence for the Western Bulldogs, Matty. Chris Grant's got the young Chad Jones. Bassett's gone the Motlop, and Benny Harrison's got the drop on Drew Petrie.
Plenty of players around the ball. This is a swarm of them. Petrie. Clever knock from Darcy to Murphy. Wanted Bowden. Faulkner overran the ball. Colbert. Searching handball for Hale. Arriving Sinclair to Grant. Peeling off nicely. Brown goes back to Sinclair. He's in some space now, through the centre of the ground. Long ball. Going up McKernan, couldn't take it. Smith clears for the Bulldogs.
Smith, the All-Australian, from half-back, goes towards the half-forward line, bending down. Bulldogs really struggling to just hand the ball. Faulkner again, just losing his footing, kicked off the ground by Smith, who's come all the way down from half-back. It was good play, taken away by Sinclair. Finds the loose player in Hale, the big man from Broadbeach in Queensland. Beautiful chip kick. Finds Harris, too far out to score, drills it in. Petrie on the stretch, couldn't take it. Boundary throw in. Drew Petrie, that man on screen. Such an important player. Still yet to play 50 games, but so much is expected of the big man. He's kicked 6 goals for the season. So a chance for the Kangaroos. 35 metres out from goal. Petrie doing the ruck work. Taken by Bassett. And always Motlop, a strong tackler. This time he's given away the free kick to Gilby. So in the back pocket, there's a lot of action off the ball, Tony. West chips in and takes it short. Coming off 27 possessions last week. 5 times best and fairest winner for the Bulldogs, and floating across his Makepeace, back in the side.
Makepeace has got the job on Faulkner.
Bassett should take an easy mark. Going to ground was Corey Jones, just lost his footing.
Bassett to the run behind from Chris Grant to the outer side. Harrison couldn't take it.
I think early in the game, Matty, we've already seen a couple of poor kicks. The winds have become a factor, so that both sides will have to get used to the conditions very quickly, and the first side to settle down.
Boundary throwing outer side. It'll be Petrie against Darcy. Cooney over the top, just bashing it forward. Roos with the numbers, Grant. Rawlings, in turn Harris, Sinclair. Kangaroos sharing it around now. The midfielders getting plenty. Simpson wants Jones. Corey or Chad, take your pick. Motlop the crummer, round the body, first goal. He's a danger man. He's their leading goal scorer so far for the season with 10. Make that 11 now for Daniel Motlop. And I guess, Tony, when you've got Petrie and Jones up there, that's his job. Stay on the ground level and get front and square.
Well, it is, and he does it so well. A lot of the Aboriginal boys just do this naturally. And for mine, he's a class act. He knows where the goals are, and that's what you don't have to look sometimes if you're a goal sneak. The man standing next to me, Kevin Bartlett, would be the person who could tell you that. But he got a bit of space here. That was a little bit too easy for mine. The pressure, both sides, Kevin are running either way, giving a lot of space. I think sooner or later you have to settle down and know your defensive responsibilities.
Well, we've got Brady Rawlings picking up Brad Johnson, and Murphy is picking up Harvey. So just a couple of the on-ball matchups as Cooney gets the ball to GN Syracusa. Motlop is going to be a dangerous player, not only at ground level, he's also taken the most contested marks for the Kangaroos this season. West, inside the centre square. Rawlings is always going to be a target up forward. Here he comes. Couldn't take it. Brown, back to Brady Rawlings. To Colbert, always cool under pressure, never panics, always got presence of mind, goes short and finds Watt. Still in the back pocket for the Kangaroos. To Hale. Always been some big raps on Hale, just waiting for him to take a big step. Sinclair. But his 100th game on this ground last year. Hale. Foreign territory for the big man down at the toes. Taken away this time by Chad Jones, goes short, finds Harris, runs inside 50, and Harris hammers it home.
Good use of the football, Tony. Really taking some pride in their possession at the moment.
Well, Harris, his opponent is Scotty West, and again, they're playing a part. I think Scotty West, if you're going to do that, he's going to get a lot of possession, but the way to hurt him is to get forward by yourself. If he doesn't put time into you, get forward and kick goals, and that's what happened on that occasion from Harris. Been a good play. He came in the side probably 3 weeks ago, really tough and hard at it. Sometimes doesn't finish as well as he should, but on that occasion, no mistake.
His second goal for the season, and that's the identical score for the Kangaroos at the moment. They lead by 11 points in a promising opening. They've had much more of their football, 34 possessions to 16 at the moment. Sharing it around, in particular through the midfield. The bounce favours Darcy, bashing it forward. Cooney into the back of Shannon Grant, and just taking his time. Kick to the shin. Shannon Grant, a wonderful player. Highly decorated, a best and fairest, and a Norm Smith medal. Gives it off to Stevens, who's got the job on Nathan Eagleton. And that goes out wide in front of Corey Jones. Big Peter Street warming up in the boundary. Sam Power. And joining them, Matthew Boyd. And Jordan McMahon, speedster. Again, lots of players around the ball. We're just going to see another boundary throw in.
Jordan McMahon on the bench. There's always been the expectations he's going to be a very good player for the Bulldogs. He's probably got to start showing something now, Tony.
Yeah, 40 games?
Yeah, he's played 40 games. His body's still slim, though, KB. He looks like they've been at him for a couple of years. He needs to improve his body strength.
Eagleton, well documented his return to form. His career was really at a crossroads, wasn't it? Halfway through last season.
It's a great success story with Nathan Eagleton because, as you say, Bulldog supporters were baying for his blood halfway through last year. Now he's one of their favourite sons.
Was that old thing, and there's a free kick, and it looks like it's going to Eagleton off the ball. Michael Stevens got the job on Eagleton, but I think Eagleton also is trying to go to Shannon Grant.
He is.
So Eagleton goes wide, and that's a good lead and good kick. Rowan Smith. Back through the middle, there's a couple of Bulldogs, and here's Scott West to Cooney. One step along to the goal square. Big pack forming. Good take over the top from Bowden. He's very good overhead, Patrick Bowden.
Good play by Cooney too. Kicking the ball long. He's a good size. They've got him in the centre square. He's had a few games to get acclimatised to AFL football. So I reckon this is a good move by Peter Rowe. Get the young kid into the action.
And he kicked that long to the top of the square where all the pressure's on the defence.
Straight in front from 20 metres out. Should be no problem. His first goal of the afternoon. The Doggies have got their first. The margin back to 5 points, and he's been pretty damaging up forward. He's kicked 8 goals, 6, make that 9-6 now. So he's getting plenty of shots at goal.
I think he's got a lot of talent, Patrick Bowden. He's a good size, he's athletic, and Lee Colbert's got the job on him, but just a long kick in, your defenders can't get position as well as they like, KB. Adam Cooney, I think he's done the job for the Western Bulldogs. He's still only 18 years of age, and they'd be thinking, I think he's played nearly every game this year, so they just hope that he can stay and play consistent football for the rest of it. But gee, I'm pretty impressed with Patrick Bowden and the way he started off this season.
Kangaroos 2 straight goals, 12. Bulldogs 1-1-7. Darcy has been good at getting centre clearances. There's Grant with a bit of muscle. Out to Kearney. He's good in close. Darcy to Scott West, the general, the playmaker. Bangs the ball inside 50. Big punch away by Brown. Pounced on that time by Colbert. Goes wide looking for Grant. They break pretty quick, the Kangaroos. Shannon Grant. He's one of their stars and plays very well at Monica. Drills the ball in. And Corey Jones takes a slips catch.
Got to get the ball in quick. You've got 3 talls in the square. Top of the square's the danger area for the Bulldogs.
Well, McKernan wanted it short. Now it's one for the high flyers. Grant, big fist away. McKernan kicks a goal. Has he missed? He's got it. Well, can you believe it? He led out. He had the presence to get back in the square. And I suppose Grant was going for the line there with a big fist away. We could probably put it down as a lucky goal. The big fist away was supposed to go through from behind, but Corey McKernan was in the way. Have a look at this.
But look at the danger area, KB. If that's in the goal square and, you know, a crumbing goal from Corey McKernan, if that kick was in the goal square, it probably would have gone through for a point. You put it 5 or 10 metres out the top of the goal square, the defenders are they don't know what to do. They're uncertain about their actions. And Chris Grant, well, he had to find the boundary line, all the points on that occasion.
Congratulations, Corey McKernan. Goal number 300 in game number 229 for him. 3 goals to 1-1. This is Makepeace. To the advantage of Stevens. No, that's out. 11-point margin, just over 12 minutes remaining. We've already seen Hale have some time on the ground, and Clayton, Ferrito and Wells, so some of their talented youngsters starting on the bench. We've already seen Ferrito nominated for a rising star in round 2.
Look, just milling around the players. There's a lot of one-on-ones because several players are trying to get onto an opposition player and they don't want that to happen, Tony.
Brown took it out of the air and banged it towards centre-half forward. Grant went without it, but he had support in Smith. Touch of the fumbles. West. Smith did well to go the second effort. 2-on-1 for the Roos. Corey Jones, good mark. Faulkner had no chance there. As they go wide again towards Sinclair. Smith arrives. Good spoil. 1-on-1 here between Murphy and Harvey.
Great matchup.
Some talent there, isn't it? Advantage, no. Free kick's going back, and it'll go to Robert Murphy.
Great matchup, Murphy on Harvey, and it looks like the Kangaroos are playing Harvey across half forward. Did exactly the same last week, trying to sneak some goals.
Darcy, who'd run off Brown, marks, quickly moving it towards Harrison. Untidy handball. Johnson, just ahead of Sinclair. Scrubbers the kick forward. Harrison, quick give. Watt went without it. Ball still in play. Sinclair, a hit in hope. There was no one there for the Roos. Harrison to ground. Lots of possession. Ugly footy. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Gee, Rowan Smith's a good player for the Bulldogs. He made so much ground to get across that contest, to punch that ball away. Murphy, of course, got that resultant kick, and there's the Murphy-Harvey matchup.
Darcy winning the knock over the back. Gilby caught high, but he was ducking. Play on. Second chance for Gilby to West. Slips it to Smith, and the veterans combine. He wanted Mitchell Hahn. Bulldogs have some numbers here. Chris Grant's gone up forward. Motlop, great pressure from the captain. And we'll have a boundary thrown as we head to Troy Love on the boundary.
As we mentioned earlier, Matthew, after a little bit of rain, the ground has become very slippery, and I expect some of the guys to be changing their boots at quarter time.
So there's an interesting matchup. You've got Chris Grant playing on Daniel Motlop.
Oh, they're just going to swap it now, KB.
Boundary throw in. And Bassett, he'd be happy to see this ball just trickle over the line for a boundary throw in. So the Kangaroos lead by 11 points. 3 straight goals to 1-1-7, the Bulldogs. There's the skipper, Chris Grant.
And Chris Grant staying at centre-half back. Drew Petrie has moved to centre-half forward, so that's his matchup. And Bassett's gone to Motlop.
Stevens trying to get to Eagleton at all those boundary throw-ins. Chance now for Jones to Sinclair. Great play by Gilby to West. Can set it up again. Murphy always uses the ball well, goes short and finds Faulkner. Now this is a young man playing his first game and his first kick in AFL football as well. From Central Districts, And the raps on this young man, he's had 2 stress fractures, 2 fractures in his foot last year. They were hoping he was going to get into the seniors well before this. But this could be a fantastic start for this young player.
Well, the Kangaroos, they've got a man up on Scotty West. He's the dominant midfielder at the moment.
Faulkner from 45 metres out. It's a good kick.
Well done.
Straight through the centre. Well, maybe he should be taking goal-kicking practice down at the Bulldogs, because that did not deviate.
Gun barrel straight, GBS. Nice, he's a little bit nervous on the take, a little bit of a fumble, but that would certainly calm the nerves with a straight kick.
Well, he gets in that illustrious group of first kick, first goal in their first game. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Now, what a great... He had a handball beforehand, but that's his first kick.
And it was a beautiful one too. And Bulldogs, of course, have been kicking so many behinds last week. Again, way off target, as they have been for most of the season. So it's nice to see that 2 goals won, 13, they trail by 5 points, and the goals outnumber the behind so far.
5 out of 6 at the moment, so obviously the work at training during the week has paid off for both teams. We have a free kick against Darcy going to Brown. Long kick, straight, the easy way home. McKernan couldn't take it. Here's Motlop again. What can he manufacture here? Good pressure from Bassett, wrapping him up. We'll have a ball in. 5-point margin. Already Scotty West, who just seems to be a wonderful accumulator of possessions, already with 7.
Lee Brown into the ruck now against Luke Darcy. That's the change when Hale will come off the ground.
There's a bit of rain coming around now. Not a bad effort from Jones. Just to the wrong side of the post. And that's the first behind for the Roos, and it's 1 straight kick the difference.
Just wonder what the thinking is, maybe to keep the height in their forward line against the Bulldogs, and as we talked about in the preview, test out their defence, because Lee Brown has been playing as a key forward, a key defender. Now he's in the ruck.
Smith to himself and then Long. Grant the target. Jones, Chad Jones, on his debut, taking a good mark behind. A little bit slippery underfoot, as Troy Luff mentioned. McKernan the target, big leap over the back, ball alive, chance for the Roos. Harvey doesn't miss too many of these. That's a goal. You cannot give him any space inside the forward 50, Tony.
No, I think that was Harris too, Tony, went up from behind there. Needed a big fist away,
And
big punch away.
Yeah, if you're not going to mark the ball or touch it, you've got to get the momentum of the ball turning forward. Robert Murphy's playing on Harvey. I just wonder where he is here. This is about 10 metres, no pressure at all. That is too easy for mine. You have to make sure that this player doesn't have an impact on the game. He's too classy a player to give 10 metres in the forward line.
Brent Harvey on screen. It's the 157th game today. His 9th goal for the season for Brent Harvey. But if you're a backman and you're going to go the big fist away, you've got to make certain you make contact. And I think that may have put Murphy out of position. I think he was expecting it, Tony.
Yeah,
Harvey, of course, ran to the back of the pack. We see Harris and Scott West pushing and shoving. Big fist away. Here's Jones. Very good player for the Kangaroos. Sinclair stands and delivers, goes wide. He's looking for McKernan. Harris did well on that occasion.
That's out of bounds on the full. I think the umpires are conferring right now. Yes, it's a free kick for out of bounds on the full. There they are. They're conferring. What's going on? No, let's have a throw in.
Toss it
off the
back
knee.
in.
Yeah, well done.
Yes, above the knee, so it's not a free kick to the Bulldogs. Has to be below the knee to be a kick. Here's Darcy with those great hands in the ruck. Pinched this time by Stevens, runs to 50. It's the post. Looking very dangerous, the Kangaroos around the stoppages. Sinclair's got 7 possessions. Grant's got 6. Lee Brown 5. Corey Jones also 5. And for the Bulldogs, Scotty West and Rowan Smith. 2 great partners in crime with 7 possessions apiece.
I think we have to find out of Troy Luff whether there is an advantage one end or the other way. I would believe that the Kangaroos are kicking to the attacking end of the ground.
Well, the lead by 13 points. Chris Grant ducked ahead. Good tackle by Petrie. Kicked off the ground by Smith. Pushing the back.
Oh, Simpson's hurt.
Chris Grant has got it. At centre half back. Harrison. Now the ball's coming back because Simpson is down. Let's go down to Troy Luff. Troy, what about the breeze?
Yeah, the wind is changing directions to and fro, but I think the southern end, the way the Kangaroos are kicking, there's probably about a 2-goal advantage, but it keeps blowing across the ground as well. But certainly the Kangaroos have it at the moment.
Thanks, Troy. Just under 8 minutes left in this first term. Harrison goes wide, looking for Cooney. Has to attack the ball hard. Gets a kind bounce. Cooney off and running, goes short. Finds Gian Syracusa. Rawlings on the lead. Backtracks. Syracusa inside 50. Out in front was Mitch Hahn. Rawlings lost sight of the ball. Scott West couldn't take it. He's given away the free kick. And it goes to Clayton. Here's Simpson, the skipper, back on his feet.
Just came on the ground. Daniel Harris was taken off for the Kangaroos.
There's the contest. We're back with the action as the Kangaroos spread it wide. Watt likes to give off here. Not a lot of options for him. We've seen the Kangaroos go pretty long and direct though. Harvey on a long lead. Right with him Murphy. Grant, just the sheer size is the problem there for Harvey.
Great tackle.
He's been very physical today, Chris Grant.
Yes, hasn't he?
2 or 3 times now he's crunched opponents.
That was smart because Harvey could have taken it on the half volley and he took him out of the play and kept his feet. You can go to ground very easily by making contact. Good second effort.
Hard tackling from the skipper. This is Clayton. Looking for Petrie, coming out McKernan. Cooney stayed on his feet, chips it poorly to Makepeace. The turnover is a long kick on the left boot to the goal square. Motlop edges him out. Couldn't quite take it. It's still alive. Harvey goal. Take your pick. He's got 2. The Kangaroos get their 5th. And a shocking turnover from Adam Cooney. And Makepeace knew exactly where he was headed, straight to the goal square.
Well, this is it. The youngster still learning the game really at this level. Turning over, and the problem is he turned it over in the centre corridor, KB. Now, Makepeace can kick the goal, or he's got the whole forward line to work in. A little bit lucky again here that this ball wasn't rushed through for a point. But Harvey, 2 crumbing goals. Robert Murphy has to tighten up.
But Cooney, of course, had to put the ball out in front of Scott West.
Oh, exactly.
He just, pulled it back across his body far too much, and Scott West was running towards the boundary line. Good start by the Kangaroos, 5-2-32. They lead by 19 points. The Bulldogs 2-1-13.
Great
footy, live and exclusive, right around the country. Chance now for Darcy. He was on the charge, caught in the tackle. Robbins pumps the ball inside, 50 for the Bulldogs, looking for Gian Syracusa. Got an ugly bounce. Scott West. What a desperate player. Thought he could have got a free kick.
Yeah, good call, KB. That's exactly what it was. Scotty West was out of position and he dived on the ball. Not great footy all the time when you're trying to keep control, but he just put his body on the line, deserved the free kick.
Bulldogs into the breeze. It's going to hold up. Here's Rawlings. He was held off the ball. Now, the free kick wasn't paid to Jade Rawlings. He was running for the mark, and he was grabbed off the ball.
I think a lot of players
disappointed with that.
A couple of players expected the free kick.
Well, it was quite clear and it was obvious. I reckon Jade Rawlings just expected that he was going back to have a shot at goal. Harris pulled off the ball. It was a good tackle by McKernan. There's a fair bit of feeling in this game. A lot of matchups. Darcy, quick hands, looking for Eagleton. Taken away by Stevens, who's getting his hands on the ball. He's been a handy player in this first term. Here's a chance for Motlop. He's got a lot of pace. And Grant again. Another desperate tackle. Bassett as Motlop does very well. Kept the ball alive. Pounced on by Harrison from half-back. That's a shocking kick. Out of bounds on the full. But again, Chris Grant's tackling and his chasing and his body work has been fantastic for the Bulldogs. Just trying to inspire the Bulldogs. Cooney taking a rest along with Eagleton.
Rawlings doing the job at the moment on Brad Johnson and just holding. Oh,
it was just behind there was when Jade Rawlings was held.
Yep. Back with Lindsay Gilby. Deep in his defensive 50. Hands to Harris. He's under a bit of pressure here. Surrounded by Kangaroos. They haven't cleared it yet. Chad Jones, give on the up to Petrie's good. Around the body though, it's Scott West filling up the hole. Taking the mark and breaking quickly. Street and hard. Hands away, well, slippery ground. Now he's under pressure. Long kick. Rawlings the target. Makepeace getting back to help out.
Oh!
Didn't matter. Rawlings takes the mark.
Well,
2 on 1.
It was nearly about as surprise of marking that as what he would if he won Tatslotto. Look at this, the ball's fallen into his hands with the 2 players around him, but he did watch the ball, KB, and what a great mark under enormous pressure.
That's the easy part. The hard part now is kicking the goal.
It's his first disposal for the afternoon.
You can teach them all you want during the week, KB. They can kick at practice, they can kick at training, but if the mind's not right and you're feeling the pressure, that changes your technique.
He'll kick from about 45 metres. Has it been working? No. One behind.
I actually don't like the way Jay Rawlings holds the ball, Tony.
You mentioned that before.
I reckon his right hand, he's got to get it around more, and he's got to get the ball a little bit more vertical.
So you're saying it's too high and it pushes the ball to the left?
Well, most of the, you can see his hand on the ball, then most of the guiding of the ball is pushing the ball right down onto his boot. I think he should have the ball a bit
across your body.
Across his body. I think he should have it a little bit more vertical.
You two grumpy old men, you work it out, will you? This is Simpson. Brady Rawlings. Again, the ball doesn't come up from the bounce.
Oh.
Collected by Brad Johnson. Advantage paid. Clayton through the middle. The kick is a good one to Hale. Should give it to Corey Jones, and he does. He could just about get it home from here. From 51. Hooks it. Just to behind. Good build-up by the Roos, and Corey Jones would be disappointed with that finish. Here's Brad Johnson.
Oh, well.
Tony?
Well, the forearm was lifted up a little bit, and we'll see it from this angle, and they don't like that, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, Brady Johnson, because he's not a dirty player.
It is Brad Johnson, the nicest player in the AFL.
Oh, yeah, the smiling assassin, they call him.
Did it have force, though, Tony?
Nah, not a lot of force.
You've got to have force these days to upset anyone at the tribunal. Scotty West.
I've seen a few blokes with glass jaws in the boxing ring, KB. You don't have to hit them hard.
Well, he just keeps on running, Scotty West. Finds Bassett at half-back.
Well, he's had 10 possessions. You think you've got to try and stop him getting the ball unless his man's getting a lot of it. And early, there was Daniel Harris, who's on the bench now, and young Jeremy Clayton's taking the job. 2.5
minutes left in this first term. 5-3-33, the Kangaroos. The Bulldogs are 2-2-14. Chance for Gilby. To centre-half forward. Street did well, made it a contest. Jordan McMahon. Now that young man's got a lot of ability. Here's Boyd from outside 50. In front, Darcy couldn't take it. Makepeace. Johnson looks dangerous. So does Faulkner. Young man with his second kick. Kicks a goal. 2 goals, 2 kicks. Now, are we conferring? We have... it's a goal. It's take 2, and this young man, we said he had big raps coming into the game, Central Districts in South Australia. They suggested, well, John Reid over in the Adelaide Crows said he might be another Andrew McLeod. You can't start better than that, Tony, can you? 2 goals, 2 kicks. Fantastic. And just to, again, Luke Darcy just tackling, pulled the ball out, and look at that for recovery. We talked about something exciting that this Western Bulldogs forward 9 needs. That's as exciting as you'll get off the ground, recover, and still, as I said, have a great awareness of where the goals are. I think Carlton's Glenn Denning holds the record. 6 kicks with your first 6 goals with your first 6 kicks in AFL footy. Oh, so he's only got 4 to go.
He's still in it, KB. Big punch out of the middle by Peter Street. Colbert in some traffic. Got a call out wide from Sinclair. Simpson just hooks it back, and that's not a good kick because it's right onto the chest of Chris Grant. 13-point margin. 1.5 minutes remaining first quarter. Grant decides at Rawlings, but well, almost decided. Rawlings had made a good long lead. In the end, he's just chipped it over to Ben Harrison. I don't know if he's achieved anything there, Kevin, because he's got it back now. And now he's run onto his left boot. So a little bit indecisive from the captain, but Gilby gets a good shepherd from Street. He's released, wobbles the kick forward. Darcy going over the top. Brown, the spoil. Deep inside the Bulldogs forward 50. Well, in that standard of play, he didn't achieve a hell of a lot because it was in the corridor. If you can keep it in there, you're more dangerous kicking in their forward line. Peter Street, good work off the ball then. Yep. Brown down in front. Johnson had a quick shot at goal. Underneath Clayton is Scotty West, and first at the footy, underneath, gets a free kick.
Well, twice now he's put his body on the line, and I know Jeremy Clayton there arguing with the umpire, but if you get him over the head, you pay the price, and this is how Scotty West is such a great player. First in, under the ball, you can see it just coming free here, and you can't do that. You've got to play safe, keep your feet, and maybe Scotty West might have been holding the ball. Missed a shot on goal like this last week, and hadn't seen it very often from this veteran.
Well, this is a timely kick at goal for the Western Bulldogs. Not his best kick off the boot, but it'll do. They've got the last two, and they've got the margin back to 7 points late in this first quarter. Scotty West is having a terrific first quarter, his 3rd for the year.
Well, he's only kicked now 89 career goals, so he's never really been a goal kicker, Scotty West, 238 games, but he's always been a playmaker. He loves to set it up for his teammates. But I suppose if he can add a bit of goal kicking to his armoury this year for the Bulldogs, it will just help, because if you get your midfield players picking up 2 or 3 goals, it does help tremendously.
You know what this first quarter might force the Kangaroos to do? It might be that Brady Rawlings has to go to West, because he's just been so dominant. He's the best tagger in their side. 11
possessions to Scotty West, just kicked his first goal. Clayton shovels the ball out to Colbert, hurries the kick. Chance now for Wells, he's been on the bench. Such a talent. He's on the half-forward line, looking for Harvey. He's kicked a couple of goals.
Oh, free kick to Harvey, Robert Murphy.
Look, he was interfered with off the ball. As the siren sounds, so this is a big kick for the Kangaroos. Brent Harvey's kicked 2 goals in this opening term. The kick dropped short. It was meant for Harvey, and Murphy has given away the free kick.
Well, you can see there, Robert Murphy. Oh, that's an Academy Award stuff.
Pushed him out of the contest.
Pushed him out. He put his arm on his body, KB. I tell you what, that acting, you made that very well known in the 70s and 80s, the way you used to take a dive.
If you weren't on Grumpy Old Men, we'd get you as a guest. Brent Harvey.
That is pretty harsh.
And Peter Street, this is good to see too. Peter Street standing the mark at 6'11" with his hands in the air, makes him about 15 feet. So Harvey has to kick over Peter Street. He's a goal kicker. He's got 3. What a way to end the quarter for the Kangaroos. Brent Harvey has booted 3 goals. He's been picked up by Robert Murphy. Dean Laidley comes on to Monica Oval. And Scotty West has been a star with the Bulldogs with 11 possessions. Rowan Smith with 8. But 3 goals to Brent Harvey. He is a very dangerous player.
Well, we can talk about that at quarter time. You can talk about that on White Line Fever. Regardless of the result, it's quarter time here at Monica with the Kangaroos, 6-3-39, leading the Western Bulldogs 4-2-26 here on Fox Footy. 13-point margin as the second quarter gets underway here in the nation's capital. Scramble for the ball early. West went off the ground, got it forward. Long ball from Bassett. Goal square. Good mark, Darcy. Good direct footy from the Bulldogs. And Scotty West started it.
Well, he did, didn't he, underneath. But Peter Street also, it's a lot of people say that Peter Street now, this is the time for his football career. It means Darcy's gone to the square, and he was just too strong on that occasion for Shannon Watt. But Street out, West gets involved again. Again, I think they have to really shut down Scotty West.
Well, Darcy's been excellent in front of goal this season so far. 6 goals, 1. This shouldn't present a problem, and look, already, as you can see from the reverse angle, you can already mark it down in the book. Good start to the second quarter to Luke Darcy and the Western Bulldogs. So that goal right on the siren at quarter time has been negated effectively.
Yep.
And Tony, we talked about in the preview that last time these two sides met, it was a shootout, 46 goals. We're already on pace for another shootout. 11 goals already.
It looks that way, doesn't it? And yeah, you're right, that goal on the quarter time siren, that did hurt, and it has cancelled it out. And I just like their setup at the moment, the Western Bulldogs. Around midfield now, they've got Boyd in there. As a matter of fact, their first quarter wasn't too bad when you think that Rowan Smith wasn't totally dominant, and Brad Johnson had a quiet quarter, so some good signs for the Bulldogs.
Well, they got Peter Street so that Luke Darcy could go forward. Yep. Does a good job in the ruck too, Street.
Well,
Gets his hands on the ball, and Darcy's a danger up forward.
If you were the coach, what would you be saying when Peter Street's in there and probably got a foot on any other ruckman?
Hit the ball as hard as you can towards goal.
Exactly.
Don't go trying to finesse it. Just get it out of that centre square. Street was a bad bounce. It didn't favour him. Chance for Boyd. Tried to work his way out of trouble. Grant, the juggler, caught high. There was no free kick. ball up inside the centre square. You can see Brady Rawlings still on Johnson. No, the free kick has been paid, and rightly so. Grant goes wide. Brown's run all the way down from centre half back. He can run with the ball, and he's a thumping kick. 25 metres, 15 metres out from goal. Grant gets back. Quick snap by Clayton. Kicks a goal. Pounced on by that young man just playing in his 7th game. Second goal for the season. And Chris Grant tried to get his fist to the ball. There's the high tackle on Grant from Peter Street.
Jade Rawlings for mine. Great running by Lee Brown from the back half. Here it is. Jade Rawlings 10 yards behind. If you're not going to mark the ball, you've got to do your defensive thing in the game. And well done by Jeremy Clayton. Lowered his colours to Scotty West in the second half of the first quarter. Now he's playing a small forward, and that was front and centre. Great crumbing.
Look, Grant has been terrific. Maybe in that instant, I know he's confident about taking the mark, but maybe the big fist away. You know, you've got that image of Mel Michael and Justin Leppage, you know, punching the ball so strong.
Free kick once again. Going to the Kangaroos again. Same man, West. Shannon Grant. Colbert. Simpson peels off. Want to move it quickly, and he does. High ball. Pack forms. Big leap over the top. Hale was there for the Roos. At ground level, Murphy.
He's gone.
He's gone. He had prior opportunity. And umpire Gavin Dorr has agreed. And just a little bit cute. Now, who's going to get it? Motlop?
Yeah, Motlop. And look, I think Robert Murphy's got to be moved up the ground. Sometimes in defence, we know he's a class act, Matty, but he's had 3 goals kicked on him. This time, he looked like he didn't know what the occasion was all about. The pressure was around him. And to me, I think he needs to be moved up the ground. Get Robbins back there and he can do a job.
Motlop kicked the first goal of the afternoon. He's kicked his second. The Kangaroos have got 8, and they stretch the lead out to 19 points, the biggest margin of the match so far. And we have got a shootout. That's 3 goals in 2 minutes of footy.
And Peter Street coming from the ground, and it looks like he's limping.
Yep.
So that's not good sign for the Western Bulldogs. But, KB, you are right. On occasions, there have been a number of marking efforts in the forward line, and the Western Bulldogs haven't cleared it with a big thump back like the Brisbane Lions. And that means that the Crumb is still a chance for an opportunity to keep pressure on the ball.
Well, I think we can learn from the best, and that's an aspect of the game by the Brisbane Lions where they take no chances. And look, I've always thought it was a sign of strength when you see a backman go up and thump the ball and players run with the flight of the ball. It just adds so much to the defensive side of your game. Cooney's on the ground. Here's Motlop. He's kicked a couple of goals. He's a danger man. Scotty West is going to work hard. Caught in the tackle. It's all tied up. Still inside the centre square.
I just wonder whether Shannon Grant has gone to Scotty West now. A little bit of change around the midfield there, and you know that Shannon Grant's a great ball getter himself. That might put pressure on Scotty West, so gone with an offensive player.
51 plays, 32. Kangaroos by 19 points after leading by 13 points at quarter time. Scott West again. That's possession number 14. His partner in crime, Rowan Smith, inside 50. Brown attacks the ball hard. Kept his body on line. Grant, well backed up by Brown, squeezed up on the boundary line, plays the ball out in front. And Harris, that time with some body pressure, forces the ball over the line for a toss back in.
He's been good, Lee Brown, hasn't he?
Oh, he's playing 10 yards in front of Rawlings. Now, Rawlings has to make a decision here. Do I get him up the ground and try and turn him around, or take him back to the goal umpire? Because his run-off halfback's been fantastic for the Kangaroos.
And he will kick a goal by doing that too, Tony. Harris to the half-forward line. Hale. Was that a look-away kick taken by King? Hammers the ball back towards the 50. Grant that time peels for the free kick. He was held. Now, is he held? They've played Petrie, advantage to the Kangaroos, so Petrie will kick a goal. Now, Chris Grant thought he was held. I thought in the call he might have been. And I actually stopped as well because I thought the umpire was going to recall the ball. Not Petrie. Not Petrie. He kept running. And a very, very irate Chris Grant. Let's have a look.
Well, who's holding who? He's holding the jumper behind his neck, but I think, KB, what do you do?
He's going back for the free here. You see, there's Chris Grant, you beauty. And Petrie's just grabbed the ball and off he went. Look at this. You can't believe it. Full marks to Petrie.
Oh, well, and not great marks. Matter of fact, you've got a failure there for Chris Grant because you just got to play the game on its merits.
But if it's so obvious to him that he got a free kick, and here's the whistle.
Those decisions are so hard for umpires. I'll pay it one way, you know. It's just so inconsistent for mine.
25 points is now the margin after that goal. And you just looked at that picture of Chris Grant, you think maybe he was doing a John McEnroe. You have got to be kidding.
The problem is they don't go and serve while they're complaining when they're playing tennis. He went and kicked a goal, his opponent.
Good point. Hale has been okay. Still just 19, Kevin. He's got a lot of developing to do just yet. David
Yes, young man from Queensland. It's good to see some players coming out of Queensland.
I love that little kick. I know it was a dangerous kick. He could have handballed and probably should have, but it just shows he's got some skills for a very tall player.
Better to kick it, Tony.
Well, it went 3 metres.
Handball is just a fad.
Oh, it'll die out, I reckon, Kevin.
It'll disappear from the game.
Here's Shannon Grant. Long numbers, though, with the Bulldogs. Gilby cutting off and marking and playing on quickly.
Good kick.
Went the torpedo, wobbles off the side, Makepeace couldn't get it, Rawlings comes
Robert
out.
Murphy.
Little gift to Murphy, went without it, Rawlings, second effort was excellent. Murphy should finish with a goal. He owes the team one, he gets it. Tony Shaw wanting to go forward, he's done so and finished off. Give him a bit of confidence as well, Tony.
Oh, yeah, look, he's had a horror day. 3 goals kicked against him in the first quarter and then a goal early in the second. I'm just looking to see where he's playing now, Matty. It looks like he's moved up to the wing.
Yep.
And that is a good move by the Bulldogs. Take the pressure off him. I think he's a class midfielder, but they don't play him there very often. We just see a great smother by Daniel Wells. Matter of fact, the first time he hit, Matty, his confidence is down. He fumbled that one. Wasn't a great handball. And Rawlings followed up. Well done, second effort.
Gee, could have given it to Faulkner, who got 3 from 3.
No, when you're down on confidence, get your name in the paper, kick a goal, KB.
Gilby's been good in the defence for the Bulldogs as well. A lot of run, bit of dash. Here's Ferrito, he's just come off the bench. Here's Harvey, he's booted 3 goals, all in that first quarter. Going to ground was Clayton. Kangaroos keep on coming. Jones is a very dangerous player. Harris applies the pressure. Jones, it was a clever scoop out. Bassett finds Harrison, so a big change of direction. Running with a flight, Jordan McMahon. And this young man's got a lot of talent. That is not on display with that kick. King, the veteran, edge of the centre square, finds Rawlings. Brady Rawlings. Let's see if he's a better kick than his brother.
Well, I think this might be in the teeth of the breeze, but, you know, Jordan McMahon, a youngster with a lot of ability, but you've got to say, you've got to play percentages. To try and kick on your non-preferred, back into the corridor, coming out of halfback, the rebound is just going to kill you, and that's what's happened.
Got to kick it between your teammate and the boundary line. Brady Rawlings.
You would have made a good coach, I reckon, KB.
Right on 50 if I didn't get sacked. Here's Rawlings. He's a dead-eye dick.
Well done.
Great kick. Kangaroos on the charge.
Well, again, Jordan McMahon, I think the runner will be out there, and I'm watching it. It is happening. He's going to him say, look, come on, play the percentages when you're under pressure. Good play by Motlop too. Just chased there. You see the smother on the ball, just missed it, and they kept it alive. And David King, if you want the ball in the hands of someone to set up a goal with beautiful foot skills, he's the man you'd like.
And that's a better follow through than his brother, isn't it?
No, but if we have a look at that, if we get a chance later on, you'll see how he holds the ball more vertical than his brother.
That looked like Michael Roach in his
We'll see if we can have a look at Brady Rawlings kicking out to his brother. Now, see how he's got the ball more vertical than his brother?
Probably could hold a little bit further down. I do agree with you, KB. Holds it a lot better.
4 goals, 3 for the year for Brady. And look at the margin now, 25 points. We've got 14 minutes remaining. We've already had 6 goals in this quarter. The Kangaroos looking to make it 7. Daniel Wells inside the forward 50. Jones got one high, gets a free kick. This is a shootout.
I think there's a major issue at the moment is that the midfield of the Kangaroos are either running a lot harder or they're a bit quicker at the moment. You know, they need to. They've got Murphy on a wing. I think you've got to push him onto the ball, put Johnson on the ball, even Rowan Smith. You've got to get some class in there, and that is a free kick. That is dangerous football when you put your head over the ball. A lot of courage by Jones on that occasion.
So Corey Jones for the Kangaroos, 5th of the quarter. It's within range. It's kicked 10-4. As Kevin Bartlett practices his goal kicking right beside him.
Look at that. Now, I don't mind that. Your beautiful balance there. Either side of the ball. Maybe his front hand around too much.
The drop looks pretty good. The distance is there. He's just hooked it a little bit to the left. 10-4, 64, 6-2, 38. And a very attacking game of football. You just see the replay, just slipping it.
Yeah.
And Harris just coming through and collecting him.
Accidental. No
malice in it.
No malice in it.
Bulldogs under pressure here a bit. I just get the feeling that they need to keep in touch with the Kangaroos before half-time. Can't let it slip away as pack forms. Grant couldn't mark it. Back to Darcy. Long. David King is scooting across.
Oh, well done.
Well done by Bowden. Didn't get paid the mark. Yes, he did. Bowden. Cooney's run into the hole. Or Rawlings. Sideways to Murphy. Not sure about that. Makepeace. Cooney still alive, gave it up. Makepeace went again, wrapped up in the tackle. Ball up, 20 metres out from the Western Bulldogs goal.
It just looks like with Peter Street being taken from the ground, their forward line setup's not as potent, KB. They've lost another tall player with Darcy. They've got to see if they can get him back on the ground.
Harrison has come off and Sam Power's come on. Plenty of players around the ball again. Somehow Darcy got it. Somehow got it. Kicks a beauty.
He's very good at picking up crumbs.
He's very good at clearances as well. He's the leading Bulldog at clearances. He's got great recovery skills.
What they have done a few times this year is have him in the centre square just as a bystander, and Peter Street doing the ruck work. Now, I'm certain Barry Richardson, who's chairman selectors of the Bulldogs, when he was coach of Richmond, he used to do that quite a bit. He used to like sometimes say, even get someone like Neil Baum in the centre square, just have that extra big body in there, with the idea that it can help smaller players.
On this occasion, though, Darcy didn't go for the ruck. It was Mitch Hahn who took the ball out, and he had to get rid of it because that would have been holding the ball if he didn't dispose of it properly. And Luke Darcy on his left foot, and that's what happens when you set up a goal. You come straight off the ground.
The Bulldogs.
Mitch Hahn's on the bench.
To a 20-point ball game. 64 plays 44. Just over 12 minutes left, and Harris has got the free kick. Across the Grant. Perpetual motion. Beautiful kick. Finds Corey Jones. He'll wheel around on the left boot as well. Sinclair was pleading for it. Jones too far out to score. Penetrating kick. Out in front. Here's Motlop. Such a dangerous player. He's a bit taller than what we think he is. And he's got great ground skills. And he rarely misses.
Just in his career, KB, I think the criticism would be, and Bassett there watching the man instead of watching the ball. It held up a little bit into the breeze, but a little bit more consistency in his game.
And Motlop has kicked 3. And you've always got to play the ball on its merits. That's one of the keys, I reckon, to football, is play it on its merits. And under those circumstances, you're not facing your opponent and not knowing where the ball's going.
Well, I think a lot of people, a lot of players don't watch the kicker because he generates where the ball's going to go. So if you're not watching the kicker and you're watching someone else, the ball can come anywhere and you're not aware of it. On that occasion, Daniel Motlop, he did watch the ball well, and Scotty Bassett, well, that thing about watching your man only, I think that's fraught with danger.
Motlop with 3. Kangaroos lead by 26 points. And you can see Sinclair on Johnson. He was trying to get on the Sinclair, and Rawlings there as well. They've kept him quiet. Just the 2 disposals so far for a very important player in this lineup. Back with West, stolen by Wells. Brent came through again with some physical work. No, now he's been paid against Grant, going all the way back to the original infraction, and we'll see it here. Grant.
Well, he hit him in the head.
Wells, long ball. Harris over the boundary line. 26 points, the margin.
I'm just wondering how you can get Brad Johnson into the play, KB. Maybe he takes Rowan Smith's spot, put Rowan Smith onto the ball, and just swapping the mix around.
Here's Grant once again.
Either that or you put him the full forward.
Exactly, yeah. but the ball's not getting up there at the moment.
Grant not going past Darcy.
If you're a dominant around the centre of the ground and you're getting a lot of supply in the inside 50s, that would be all right. But at the moment, they're not getting it in their forward line, the Bulldogs. 16 inside 50s, the 24, the Kangaroos. So.
And Ferrito, who was brought on off the bench to have a crack at Scotty West, who had it 11 times in the first quarter, has only had the 3 possessions in the second term.
This is Wells. He wants to get on with it. Here's a big pack forming. Up they go. Motlop went early. Darcy the punch. Smith to Johnson. And it's not Brett Johnson's day. He's kicked it straight out of bounds on the full.
Well, the 2 players involved there who we thought might swap. Now, Shannon Grant, he's a left footer. Don't know whether the distance is too much, whether he's kicking into the breeze, but we've seen him slot these before. If he goes back, he looks like he's worried about the distance, I would think, looking to pass off.
Yeah, it tends to blow to that side of the ground, so he's kicking into it a little bit. Decides to look for, and that's better by Johnson. He was looking for Sinclair, and Johnson makes up for his error. Just waiting, and man on man, and got in front of Jess Sinclair. We're with Murphy now, paddling along through the middle of the ground. Short pass over the top to Power, can go on with it, can kick a goal. He's inside 50. Sam Power kicks the goal. First kick of the afternoon, started on the bench, and he gets the margin back to 20 points.
Well, Murphy,
set up the goal, you come off.
Take him off, he set up the goal. I can't believe that. Gene Syracuse comes on, but Sam Power forward of the ball. Robert Murphy, even in that standard of play, fumbled, so he's not on his game, but beautiful kick, great vision, and no time put into Sam Power. He'll kick those every time with a little bit of a breeze behind his back. So Gene Syracuse are on, and Murphy off.
No wonder you and I got sacked, Tony. We had no idea.
What, we left them on when they set up the goal?
Yes, we did.
I didn't get sacked there, but I resigned, Kevin.
Oh, you are grumpy.
Keep sticking to that story, Tony. You'll convince everyone one day. It's the Kangaroos by 20 points. The Bulldogs won't go away. They trail by 13 points at quarter time, but they just keep chipping away. Chance for King. Caught. So Bassett will take it. Under 9 minutes left in the second term. Bulldogs have had a lot of shots at goal this year. They've been in a couple of very high-scoring games. So they fancy their chances. Very offensive. Kicks the centre half forward. It's a big pack of players. Bowden was in front, taken away by Rawlings. Ferrito's got the job on West. Sinclair ambles away from half-back. Pumps the ball high to the centre wing. Here's Bassett, forced under the ball by Motlop. Danger now for the Bulldogs. Brady Rawlings can run with the ball. He can run inside 50. Rawlings stands and delivers. Great kick to the square. Oh, and Grant, Shannon Grant, not Chris, with the ball dropping short just ever so slightly in the breeze, has outmaneuvered 2 Bulldog opponents and will kick a goal.
Gee, he is a fantastic player, Shannon Grant. He's 13th, this will be his 14th disposal, but again, KB, in the marking contest, he was the only one to watch the ball. They all wanted to make body contact, and there were 2 taller players than him.
Shannon Grant from point-blank range will just trot in and pops it through.
Well, that's his 8th possession for this quarter. Again, just like Scotty West with the Western Bulldogs, they have to find someone to play on him. They ran the ball well through 50 with Rawlings, and he just outbodied these players.
I reckon it dropped short on,
on Boyd, and Chris Grant, of course, was looking for body. But gee, he's a smart player. We know he hasn't got great leg speed, but his use of the ball, his football brain is just brilliant. And it looks like they've lost the ball.
Well, he's in good form, isn't he, Shannon Grant? He's coming off 30 disposals last week. And he's headed in that direction again today. They're holding the Bulldogs at bay, the Roos. They lead once again by 26. Plenty of time to go in this quarter. Eagleton's going nowhere.
Matty, we look behind play, and a player who I think, David King, is a loose man in defence, and for mine, he is too good a player to leave just standing 25, 30 metres off the ball.
Yeah, just at centre-half back at the moment. And that's where the ball's headed, because it's a free kick to Scotty West.
Shepherding off the ball.
There's King, just trying to fill up a hole in front of the leading forwards. Now West goes lateral to Bassett. Stop start, kicks long. Gian Siracusa jumped. They all jumped, but there's a whistle way back on the play.
Uh-oh, the umpire's hurt behind play.
Gavin
Dor's down.
He's down.
Now,
He's got his 300 games, he's down.
Yeah, that's enough. I've had enough, he said.
game number, what, 301 or 302? 301.
He's done a calf muscle. Well, it looks, we shouldn't laugh, should we? But
no.
He's done a calf muscle, I would think, or he's been kicked in the calf.
I don't think he's been kicked in the calf.
No, someone accidentally, I think, might have ran past and he was in too close to the play, or he's just torn a calf muscle. How many umpires we've seen stretch it off the ground, KB, in the history of the game?
Well, I don't think he'll be stretched off the ground. He may have to limp off the ground, but it was a great comeback because he was stuck on 295 games last year and had a severe injury.
A bicycle accident.
An accident, yes, on a bike, and you know, broke his pelvis and all sorts of things happened to Gavin Dorr. So to get back and become, I think he was only the 17th umpire, but umpired 300 games.
So what's the decision here, Kevin? I mean,
well, I thought
emergency umpire will come on.
Yeah, no, the decision, was it going back to where the ball was contested or going back to the middle of the ground?
It was, I thought it'd be where it would land.
Yes.
But now they're bringing the ball.
So the ball is coming back.
Oh, he's done, yeah, I would think a calf muscle. He's either tore a calf muscle.
So he may have blown the whistle.
He's blown the whistle
before the ball was back down the ground. So that free kick has come back.
Oh, look at this transition.
Rawlings read what was going on, took off to the forward line, runs to 40 metres and kicks another one. Gee, he's a smart player. Second goal to Rawlings, and while everybody's worrying about whose decision it is, where's it going, what's doing, he just took off to the forward line, kicks another goal. They've kicked 13 goals now, the Roos, and they lead by 32 points.
Now, Troy Luff might be able to get a report on umpire Gavin Dorr. I know we often just report on the players, but this is a man who's umpired 301 games, and last week, of course, we celebrated his great achievement. So let's hope it's nothing too serious that's going to affect his career, but he was in a great deal of pain.
Well, that
field.
Poor play then by the Bulldogs, though. You can't allow Brady Rawlings to just run forward like that with so much space. 2 goals, gee, he's had a great game on Brad Johnson. He's tagged him all day, and Brad Johnson's had 4 possessions.
Kangaroos now by 32 points. The asset test for the Bulldogs. Motlop, clever player, paddles the ball along, shovel the ball out. Chance for Simpson, the skipper, round the corner, finds Wells. What do they call him these days? Awesome Wells. On centre wing. So this is the man that kicked the winning goal virtually after the siren against Carlton. This time he just chips it in to Petrie. Outside of 50. Rawlings looks a chance, forced out of the contest. Harris at ground level. He was waiting for it to come out. Pinched that time by Gilby. Bad bounce for Harrison. Lacked a bit of pace. Sainsbury to Harvey, who is quick. To Rawlings.
Free kick going back to Harvey for over the shoulder, KB.
Let's go down to Troy Luff and find out what's happened to umpire Gavin Dorr.
Yeah, something quite amazing. Michael Stevens has actually fallen across his leg, and it looks like he's broken his leg, his lower half of his leg. Quite amazing.
Well, that is bad news. That seems to be the prognosis at the moment. But he was in a lot of pain coming off the field. So we'll keep in touch with that, and hopefully we might even be able to get maybe a better report, but that doesn't sound good. Here's Darcy, big fist away. What West hadn't lost at Simpson. Couldn't make contact. Harris tried to crash his way through. And Scott West, along with about 3 other teammates, Gian Siracusa as well, apply the tackle.
Well, let's hope that it is only a calf strain, but gee, a broken leg, that's tragic.
Particularly with what he's gone through, Gavin Dorr, to get back into umpiring. Just 15 metres out from goal. Darcy wins the tap, pinched by Grant. High ball, it's one for the Brave. Petrie keeps the ball alive. West had it, lost it. Somehow, Eagleton heads for safety.
Great pressure. Kangaroo forwards, great pressure. It's been a poor part of the Western Bulldogs game, as you said, Kevin, that they haven't spoiled well, and that ball also just bounced in the middle of a pack.
So Gilby now for the Bulldogs, who are really struggling to get something happening. Good, strong mark. Ferrito have gone long again. Rose just touched by Harvey. Simpson not too, a bit surprised by that decision, but we've got to be behind. It's just...
Did it come off Robin's hands or Harvey's hand?
No, I think Harvey. I think Brent knew it. He tried to con the umpire at the end of it.
Yeah, I think you're right. 13-6 to 8-2. 34 points to the Roos.
They've got no run out of their defence at the moment, the Bulldogs.
Good pressure, though, by the Kangaroos, isn't it?
Yep.
They're holding the ball in the area.
Very stagnant, the Bulldogs.
Challenge Syracuse now. He's going to be forced to kick to a contest. McKernan, he's in the best spot. Petrie off, Chad Jones on. McKernan, oops, took his time and just gets his kick. Johnson with the punch. Power and Wells. Wells just forced him out the way. Then the handball looking for Stevens. Wells is there again. Wonderful skill out in front. Ferrito playing on quickly. Too far out to score. Centering ball to Harris. Smart kick, and Harris is now within range.
Great kick by Michael Ferrito. Normally a tagging midfielder. He's come on and playing across half forward. They can't get it in any position, the Western Bulldogs. Just then, Daniel Wells pushed power off the ball too easy. Harris now kicking from, and we'll tell which end's got the win because it looks like it's stabilised a little bit, and Troy Luff is coming across the ground. But this end might see if he can kick this distance or it holds up in the wind.
Usually it blows a little bit left to right here. But wonderful view of what confronts Daniel Harris. He's already kicked one. Lining up for the Roos, 8 for the quarter. He's not going to make it. It's a woeful kick. And away goes Matthew Roberts. All that build up for nothing. Hahn. Spoil was good from King. Simpson on hands and knees to Makepeace. He gets it back. They shuffle it between them. King, Makepeace. That's a good kick. He was off balance. Darcy made best position. Harris couldn't take it. Bassett. Harris has pinched it. It's a rolling maul, and they can't get it forward. They'll have a ball up. Still in the Kangaroos' attacking zone, deep inside their forward 50. Once again, Troy Luff.
Well, the Bulldogs have to bite the bullet now. They've got to get someone back. King or Makepeace are swapping as a loose man in defence for the Kangaroos. You have to make it one-on-one. They just cannot get the ball in their forward line, the Bulldogs, with that setup.
We'll get to Troy shortly as Boyd was looking for Gian Syracuse. Oh dear. Ferrito kicks the goal. They've got 8 for the quarter, and that was ugly. Good pressure once again by the Roos inside their forward 50. 40 points, it's real danger time. It's a blowout at the moment.
Oh, it is. And this man, he's had an impact in the last 5 minutes. Just here, you'll see Gian Syracuse receive the ball. You don't get away with those things now, handballing out and trying to get a hold in the man. That went out with Kevin Bartlett, throwing the ball out in front.
But also a natural backman heads to the boundary, not back into the corridor.
Exactly. You go through for a point, but it's just, again, a young player who is under pressure at the moment too, you'd say, Daniel Syracuse. But, gee, Michael Ferrito is a big boy, isn't he, for a midfield tagger. And as I said, he's played across half forward the last 7 minutes and had a fair bit of the ball.
Kangaroos by 40 points. 9 individual goal kickers for the Kangaroos. 3 goals to Brent Harvey and 3 to Daniel Motlop. And for the Bulldogs, their leading goal kickers, Luke Darcy with 2, and also Cameron Faulkner has kicked 2 goals, and those 2 goals coming with his first 2 kicks in AFL football. Brian Royal there, assistant coach Dean Laidley. Anthony Stevens looks on. It's nail-biting time. Tim Harrington in the background, but they'd like what they've seen just in at the moment. 90 plays 50. Scott West. Can he generate a score for the Bulldogs? Bassett hammers the ball back to centre half forward. Rawlings couldn't take a big one. Here's Ben Harrison. He's a beautiful kick. I think I muzzed him.
That's an understatement.
But it was desperate play also. Colbert got a kick.
Play. So Lee Brown, I think, has dragged him down.
It's going back to Gian Syracuse.
I think he might have been shepherding off the ball.
So a chance for the Bulldogs. Late in this second term, as Peter Street comes on. So we would think that Darcy would go forward and maybe
you would think
might
so.
snap a goal or snag a goal.
I like that setup better.
Late. Gian Syracuse hasn't kicked a goal this season.
That is amazing, that statistic.
From 47 metres out. It's a good kick. That'll lift the confidence for the Bulldogs and that young man. Fox Footy, live and exclusive, right around the country from Manuka Oval. And the Bulldogs, after an horrendous second term, just might go in at half-time with a little bit more confidence.
Well, Peter Street back on the ground and in the centre bounce, which I love. And there you go, KB. Luke Darcy goes forward. That suits. And it looks like Brad Johnson is going to the square. He hasn't got it in midfield, hasn't got it across half-back, so they said, go up the other end, son, and try and snag a few. But Daniel Gian Syracuse, his first goal for the season, a player as talented as that. As I said, he might be at the crossroads of his career at this football club because he has to show something in the season. I think it's his 4th year of football. So, yep, he's a talented player, but as we saw, sometimes the physicality of the game can pressure him into making mistakes.
Inside the last minute of this first half, with the Roos on top by 34 points, Hale gets it to Wells. Petrie right underneath it, Boyd at the back for the Bulldogs. Happy to see it over the line. 8 goals to 5 in this term. Chad Jones, young Western Australian, making his debut for the Roos this afternoon in front of the Jack Vingleton scoreboard. Off the ground, Simpson almost made something out of nothing. Harris sliding, still a chance. The Roos, where's Harvey? Trying to pinch it. Hahn searching for the boundary. Seconds remaining, time for one more goal. Not to be. Wrong side of the post. Terrific quarter by the Kangaroos. They led by 13 points at quarter time. That man kicked 3 in the first quarter. Hasn't added to that in that second quarter when they added 8 goals 4. And they've got a very comfortable break here at half-time. They lead by 35 points.
Yeah, we're at the back here now with the ambulance officers. They're actually taking Gavin Dorr to Canberra Hospital. They're going to get some x-rays on his leg. But Gavin's actually said that he's going to make it back here for the end of the game and hopefully get on the plane with the rest of his teammates.
Well, let's hope he can do that as the second half is underway and Peter Street gives it back to Mitchell Hahn. High ball, tough one to mark. Bowden equal to the task. Long, strong lead from Rawlings, who's got to get into the game. Gee, poor kick, put Smith under pressure. He'll go long, smashes it forward. Darcy's got to beat 2, and does. Little nudge out. He was the sandwich, meet the sandwich.
Do you think, Tony, that maybe you ruck Peter Street for as long as you can and let Darcy down there?
You don't even take him off the ground. They looked better in the second quarter when Street was in the ruck, and then he had to come off the ground, looked like he injured himself. The body on body, just the strength of Darcy, that is the best setup they can have at the moment, KB, and not allow the Kangaroos to have any loose man in defence.
Darcy's already kicked 2. Here's a very good kick for goal. And just the start the Bulldogs are looking for in the third term, but they've got to get some momentum and string some goals together. It's been the ability of the Kangaroos to quickly bounce back with another goal. Pretty straightforward kick. 8 goals for the season. You can make it 9. The Doggies have got the first of the second half.
Well, we saw in the rankings at half-time that Luke Darcy was on top of the rankings, matter of fact, and he has been the dominant big man around the ground. But they sent him the ball here. Look, they've got to take some risks too, and that was a risky kick. But there it is, Rowan Smith, who I said had the lift with Brad Johnson. Long kick, body on body. I'm just trying to look in the Kangaroos' defence now to see whether they've got a loose man in defence. If they're going to play that way, I'd rather play 7 forwards if I were the Western Bulldogs. Make a contest so no one can help out against Darcy. They've got 8 forwards at the moment, the Western Bulldogs, so I think that's a good ploy.
So Peter Street's going to do the ruck work, and Luke Darcy is just a ground level player. Maybe we might see him then just slip back to the forward line. He's got Lee Brown picking him up. Brad Johnson has had a very dirty first half. One of the stars for the Bulldogs. Now, if he can lift his ratings, along with likes of a couple of those young players, if they can do something like Gian Siracusa and Jordan McMahon, but that man on screen is so important to the Bulldogs. If he can have a big second half. Street getting his hands on the ball. Scotty West has been a lone hand around the packs. Johnson, so an early touch in this third term, and there's a strong grab. Courageous mark taken by Lee Colbert.
Well, there's no doubting this man's courage, isn't it? You don't know what's coming from behind you, and just kept his eye on the ball.
Gives it across to Brady Rawlings. Chris Grant attacked the ball, did it well to Robbins. Just sharing the ball around across half back. Standing his ground is Gilby. Been one of the Bulldogs' best today, Johnson. So all of a sudden, a couple of touches. There's Gian Siracusa. And Cooney should have taken it. Bad time to fumble. Tries to feed the ball out to Bassett. Caught in the tackle by King. They are desperate, the Kangaroos. And we've got a ball up on centre wing.
Adam Cooney then, just maybe one of the little things in his game, but just below knee level, he doesn't bend over that well, and that showed then. He's, like I said, he's still a youngster learning the game, but had to take control there.
Kangaroos by 29 points. 14-7 plays 10-2. Street against Hale. Street wins out. Back to Gilby. Tumbles the ball forward. Again looking for Cooney. That's better hands. Robbins rockets the ball wide. Scotty West. Always cool under pressure. Can he set it up? The general, the playmaker, goes wide looking for Rawlings. And all of a sudden, something's happening for the Bulldogs. And Jade Rawlings will be shooting from around about 45 metres.
Well, it's all happening from the setup in the midfield. I think Peter Street's been fantastic, not just in the taps, but he's followed up a couple of times at ground level, and you called it, KB. But Adam Cooney, well done to the young fella. He learnt from the first mistake. He got control that time. It was nearly a similar ball, and that shows that he's thinking about his game. Jade Rawlings, well, big kick in the context of this game.
This man needs a shot in the arm with confidence. Comes in, Jade Rawlings. He likes it. He's got the clenched fist, and the Bulldogs have got the first two of the third term, and that's Rawlings' first of the match. And have a look at his kicking style. The ball was a little bit more vertical here, Tony. I'm not quite certain whether you'd noticed that.
Well, here's the build-up.
He does have the right hand around a bit too far, I reckon, but at least it was more vertical.
What are you saying, Kevin, that he's listening to what you're saying in the commentary of the first half?
I'm told he's plugged in the sound. He's wired the sound to Fox Footy. It's going live right around Australia. And he's all wired up. Look at that. Straight off the boot, up goes the hand.
Well, we look at 5 minutes in the second quarter. I thought the Bulldogs were playing good football, and then, as we said, Peter Street came off the ground, KB. So all signs are that this young fellow, who we think has to stand up again, moved from Geelong, the Western Bulldogs, is controlling it at the moment.
Street, taken by Grant, though, going back. Simpson got it from Colbert, not only as far as Gian Siracusa. Here go the Dogs once again. Rawlings comes late, gets it. Right on the 50. Darcy wants it in quickly to the goal square. Rawlings goes back, heads in that direction. Right on the line. Darcy couldn't take it. Still alive for the Bulldogs. Makepeace sits on it. We'll have a ball up.
Luke Darcy there, he just acknowledged Rawlings, saying, hey, I had that ball, good kick, and have a look, he had the run up.
Oh, he did have it, didn't he?
Oh, he had it in his hands. Shannon Watt behind him.
Lucky not to get a free kick over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Ball up. Bowden tried to clear it out. Wells. Kick from Stevens, only as far as Street. Now, he should let it go for Gian Siracusa, he does. Stepping beautifully. Straightening up and just off to the right. But the margin was 35 points at half-time. And very quickly, it's back to 22, and they've got some momentum.
Gee, that's classy, isn't it, Gian Siracusa?
Would have been nice to
the finish. Yeah. It just really put the Kangaroos under the pump if he had converted there. But, gee, I love seeing those little snippets of players who can play the game. As I said, he needs more consistency over the duration of a game.
Well, he's got the talent as King. Hammers the ball back. Rawlings did well. got rid of Hale. Chance now for Robbins, goes short, finds Murphy on the stretch. So the Bulldogs have come out in this third term and they're fired up.
Here's this man, Robert Murphy, and we're talking about kicks. Well, a player of his ilk here should convert from this distance with no pressure, and the Bulldogs are the Kangaroos are making a change. Looks like Daniel Wells off. And it's Eddie Sainsbury coming on. Big kick. This will really add to the pressure for the Kangaroos. They've come out here. I think they've been sitting back on their haunches a bit in the early part of this quarter.
This to get the Bulldogs within 16 points. Murphy runs to 47 and misses to the left. So a couple of bad misses by G and Syracusa, and also Murphy just might halt some of that momentum.
Makepeace deciding what his options are right in front of him. Went for the big man. Mitchell Hahn got in front of Hale. Hahn just bangs it back to where it just came from. It might have enough. Darcy in front. Shannon Watt back to Makepeace. They're under pressure, the Kangaroos defence, but now Shannon Grant.
Got to make certain if you're a small player, get to the front of Luke Darcy because he's not going to get outmarked.
And again, that kick just had too much depth on it. Had to go through, or you'd put it to the top of the square.
Grant gets around, kicks long. Motlop couldn't quite take it. Mitchell Hahn again, spinning through, should give it off. Give it now, going to get caught. West, Simpson right with him. Well done by Adam Simpson, forcing the boundary throw in.
I could see what Mitch Hahn was trying to do there, Matty. You're probably right, give it off straight away, but he's thinking we can just draw a player and run through the lines. Again, like I say, take some risk. Didn't come off on that occasion.
Boundary throw in, Street and Hale. Harris, Simpson, Grant. Midfielders combining. The run of David King. Long ball. Good punch from Brian Harris. Gian Syracusa again trying to step out of a tackle. Robbins. West cut it off, said, I'll take it, thanks. And then kicks it wide. Right on the line.
Good call by the umpire.
Part of the ball, the entire ball has to be over the line, so part of the ball just landing on the line.
This will be heartbreaking if the Kangaroos score a goal on this 4-day forward, because the Western Bulldogs have dominated, had shots.
Well, they've had all the play in this third term. Ferrito. That's going nowhere.
A bit more desperation by the Bulldogs at ground level. Those sorts of contests early in the first half, the Kangaroos would win that.
It was
they get
2
too
to
many
1,
numbers.
Norman, one or too many numbers.
29 to 16 disposals to the quarter in favour of the Bulldogs. Gives you some sort of indication. Harvey has booted 3 goals. Gilby's been good for the Bulldogs. Here's Cooney. Got to keep his body right on line. Got to win the contest. Chance for King, pulled off the ball.
Good pressure.
Bulldogs are just bulldozing the ball forward. Eagleton pumps the ball long. Rawlings is playing in front. Big fist away. That time it was Brown taking down his Rawlings. It was a good fist away by Brown. And there's another good tackle. Front on.
Just the numbers at the ball for the Bulldogs in the middle of the ground kept the momentum going their way. They have lifted, no doubt.
They're within 21 points. They trailed by 35 points at half-time. Darcy has booted 3 goals. Watt somehow gets the ball across to Hale. Heads towards the boundary line. And we've got to toss back in. Just under 12 minutes left in this third term.
Well, they're playing on their terms now, the Bulldogs, KB. I'll look back again to the forward line of the Bulldogs. There is not one free Kangaroo player. That's how it has to be set up to keep the pressure on them.
Street got his hands on the ball. Simpson caught in the tackle by Gilby. He's having a terrific game. Robbins squeezed up on the boundary line, forced over for a toss back in.
Just been terrific. A terrific attitude so far in this third term by the Dogs as Jordan McMahon.
Matthew Robbins is playing on Brent Harvey. I like that matchup.
Back with the action, and Simpson slides into it. Hahn, pickpocket, came out with a footy. Long ball. Faulkner. Hasn't had a lot of kicks. In fact, every time he kicks it, he kicks a goal. Brady Rawlings still with Brad Johnson. Kangaroos haven't scored in this term. The Western Bulldogs in this quarter, inside 50s, 8-1. Telling the story as they're still inside their own forward 50 with another ball up.
A couple of other signs too. You know, look, Brad Johnson, you think he's going to have a time in the game where he gets some dominance, and it hasn't happened so far, so that's a good sign for the Bulldogs in one way. He'll get his time. 26
players inside the forward 50. Gilby sets sail for home, top of the square. Darcy, Gian Syracuse are over the top. It's still alive. Street. Oh. Kicked it out on the full in the end.
Hit the behind post.
Where did it come from? Ball's going back. The kick has to be taken again. It'll be Troy Makepeace. So often the designated kicker in these situations anyway. Going wide to King, who has some space. Long ball towards the run of Motlop. He's left Bassett behind. And unfortunately for the Kangaroos, the ball's gone out. So he was well cleared.
I'm just thinking, if Peter Street had to come from the ground, KB, and Darcy has to go into the middle of the ground, would you put Chris Grant, who's playing on Corey McKernan now, down the forward line to keep that set up in the forward line, that height, and put the pressure still on? Well, because it might change, and you don't want that to happen.
It's worth a chance if that's the case, but I'd try and keep Street on as much as you could.
I know, but he might need the rest, and that's what I'm saying. When that happens...
You don't need a rest. Take a deep breath and go again.
I'm with you, but...
Chance for the Bulldogs. Mitchell Hahn has been very good in this third term. Certainly has lifted his ratings. He's been hard at the ball. Cooney, desperation, tied up by King. Just under 10 minutes left in this third term. There's Adam Cooney. Started the game in the centre. He's had 8 possessions. 22 to Scotty West and Lindsay Gilby with 15. Leading possession winners for the Bulldogs. 18 for Shannon Grant and 16 to Adam Simpson, the skipper. Grant's booted 3 goals. So's Darcy. Here's Gilby. That's his first mistake. That was a wild kick.
In danger. Free kick against Gilby. Dropped the mark. And this is where it pays. If they score here, the Kangaroos, the Bulldogs are dominated.
Grant's got to go hard. He does well. Back on the stretch. Haven't scored in this term, the Kangaroos. Just 9 minutes left. And the Bulldogs have kicked 2-2. Gilby playing the game of his life. To Johnson. He's got 2 to beat. Brown smashes the ball away for Rito. He's got the tagging job now on Scott West. Brady Rawlings comes away with the ball. Rockets the ball to King. The veteran on the edge of the centre square. Loves to run with the ball. Goes for the big torp. Deep into attack, getting back was Brent Harvey. He's booted 3 goals. Might have been trying to play for a free kick on that occasion, maybe hoping something was going to take place. What do you think, Tony?
You're kidding, KB. He wouldn't do it. He would not do it. Look, he's a professional. You've got to milk it as much as you can.
Still deep inside the forward line for the Roos. Hale. Street.
Oh, free kick off the ball. Gian Syracuse on Shannon Grant. You cannot afford to do that. You know, that is just soft in my thinking. If you're holding someone's jumper and you're 3 metres away from the ball, KB, and you don't even know where the ball's going to be tapped at on that occasion, you just cannot afford it. This will hurt. The Bulldogs have been that courageous in this quarter, harder than the Kangaroos, and a soft free kick like that really hurts the side.
Let's take a look.
Oh,
pulling him off the ball.
Yeah.
Not happy. Shannon Grant has a goal in the second term. Doesn't miss too many of these. And he doesn't. He gave it a chance. Gave it a bit of a hook. Gian Syracuse is still fuming about it. But it is the first score of the quarter for the Kangaroos. A bit of breathing space, back to a 27-point margin. Shannon Grant His 19th disposal.
Well, the umpires are more vigilant with off-the-ball incidents because, and I think we see here,
There it is.
there he is pulling him off the ball. I don't think Jen Syracusa can really complain about that.
Well, if you've got your arms around and wrapping someone around and you're off the ball, well, it's going to be paid against you if you're the aggressor. And like I said, I'm very soft. I don't think Peter Rowe would be happy with that when they've worked their way back into this game.
Kangaroos back to a 27-point lead. 3 goals to Motlop, 3 goals to Brent Harvey. And for the Bulldogs, Luke Darcy's got 3, 2 to Cameron Faulkner. So Bulldogs supporters are happy. They like that free kick, Scotty West. Eagleton has been very closely guarded today. It's been one of the guns for the Bulldogs this year. Street on the stretch, what a grab! Jack and the beanstalk.
I'll tell you what, David Hale isn't a small bloke, but this was well done. He has had a major impact in this third quarter, Peter Street. If it's not his tap work, he's now pushed forward. I don't know whether Darcy's going to go in the ruck. They might just swap him in the forward line, KB, keep them both on the ground.
Well, when you're that tall, if you can take a grab, why not? He's kicked 2 goals for the season. Peter Street. Can the Bulldogs hit back? From 40 metres out.
Well done.
He's happy. Bangs it through. And the Bulldogs keep on, keeping on. Great kicking, 12-4.
Who said
I thought someone said they couldn't kick straight.
I think that was... Who was that?
Who's the kicking coach down there at Western Oval? He's doing a mighty job.
I think Randy Campbell brought that up, the inaccuracy before the game.
I did. I'll take responsibility of that. But Peter Street certainly hasn't got a problem. 3 out of 3 for him so far this year. And when you're 209 centimetres and you put your arm up and mark it, you're grabbing it out of the stratosphere.
Well, he's had, what, a couple of possessions and 5 or 6 hit-outs, but they have been very good. And now Darcy and Street in at the centre bounces. It's an amazing mix, this, KB, but they think it works. Who's going to go for the ruck?
The umpire wants to know who's
Street
going up. Street will. And Darcy's saying, well, come on, bounce it.
It's worked well for him because Darcy's been a good crummer at the centre square.
Hale, though. Clayton spinning out of trouble. Back to King, who's had a good third term. Well, Bassett could have marked it. Punches at 25 metres. Ferrito out to Clayton. Clayton short. Motlop. Good clean take below his knees. Clever kick to Stevens. And Street arrives late, but Stevens will line up well within range. He'll kick from about 40 metres out.
Well, KB, I don't know about that setup. You tell me. And look at Motlop here. Really good hands, clean hands, and the vision to know where his teammate was. Stevens on that occasion. If you can tell me how many centre bounces both Street and also Darcy rin at, and how many clearances they have over the end of the year, then we'll see if it works or not.
I think he might be their leader this year, Darcy.
Yeah, but that's when he's been rucking by himself.
Kick from Stevens has gone across the face. The ball is alive. Free kick. Jess Sinclair underneath all that. Rowan Smith, similar to Daniel Gian Syracusa a minute ago, delivered. Well, so Sinclair is going to line up, and there's a bit of mouthing off going. We've got a 50-metre penalty, so he can mark it down now.
Well, it goes to the front of the square now, so he can't miss.
I think the vision says it all there. The umpire said no, stop, and he kept going and mouthing off, and you paid the price. Well, it's a certainty now. I think it would have been a goal anyway.
Yeah, true. Sinclair to finish off. It's goal for goal here at Monica.
But Tony, once the free kick has been paid, there's no point in saying anything because, look, we have seen players miss, 5 or 6 metres out on a bit of an angle.
Yes.
But I tell you what, I've never seen anyone miss when the man is standing on the goal line.
And I've never seen an umpire reverse the free kick anyway, KB.
No.
I used to give him a mouthful in my time, but I thought then that was impossible. At the free kicks there, you can't, even though a little bit soft, the free kick's there. You can't argue with it. And we'll just watch the vision. The umpire's there. Rowan Smith, yeah, well, that's shocking. It's not a great decision up, and okay, Rowan, come back and pay the price.
Yes, we see there's always a chance he can miss, but he can't miss from there. So still a bit of a grin on the face there of Jess Sinclair. They lead now by 27 points, the Kangaroos. So a lot of hard work undone by a couple of free kicks to the Kangaroos in this third term, going short. Here's Sinclair again, sliding out in front of Rowan Smith.
Well, no one could stop that kick. That was beautiful. I think it was Rawlings on the outer wing.
Yep.
Fantastic kick. And I don't care how quick Rowan Smith is, no one, not in the best fullback in the history of the game, would have stopped that.
Motlop is taking a breather. Daniel Wells is coming on.
What do you do if you kick this goal? If you Sinclair, you kick the goal, you just walk up to Smith and say, oh, well, that's 2 in a minute. How do you feel now?
Well, you might have said that, Tony.
Well, I would. Because, free kick, he deserved the free kick.
Never treat your opponent with disrespect.
Well, no one else hears it except him.
Sinclair from 40 metres out on this raking left foot.
Now, if I was Rowan Smith, I'd run up and say, gee, that was weak under pressure.
He puts it through for a behind.
Mitch Hahn's come from the ground. Gee, I think he's had a very good third quarter, Mitch Hahn. And Boyd's on for the Western Bulldogs.
So the Bulldogs look for Street. It's in the centre of the ground. Pounced on by Bassett. Tries to find Grant. Beaten this time and taken away. From Makepeace to King. To McKernan. He's on the centre wing. He goes short. They've created the loose player. Adam Simpson does it well. The skipper drags the ball back. Wells! Straight off the bench. Grant pulled down on the tackle. They'll pile on top and we've got a ball up 40 metres out from the Kangaroos' goal.
Well, here's the change now. Peter Street coming from the ground. Luke Darcy will go in the ruck, no doubt. I don't know. I think Benny Harrison can play on Corey McKernan in defence and keep Chris Grant in the forward line. I know he's done a fairly good job, but you've got to kick goals to win the game. Even for the last 20 minutes, so they get control of it.
Wells got the tap out. It was pinched by Gian Syracuse. It gives it across the west. He's caught in trouble. Bassett, under pressure, just hammers the ball out towards the boundary line. Boyd's just come off the interchange bench for the Bulldogs. And there he is. Peter Street just having a conversation on the phone.
Full credit to Dean Laidley with his defensive midfield. And we've had Nathan Eagleton. Stevens has been with him all day, just the 3 disposals. And we've touched on Brad Johnson a couple of times with Brady Rawlings. He's won that battle. West. Centre half forward. Ball's alive. Stevens was looking for Colbert, but Shannon Watt got in the way. Here's Petrie. Overran it. So did Grant. Oh, Grant went to ground. Petrie stayed on his feet. Oh, Sainsbury went without it. Twice. Ferrito. Good take. Slaps it back. David King. He's everywhere at the moment. Good kick. And Tony mentioned it in the first half. He can find the body. And this is Daniel Wells.
Well, David King has just showed a class act. They've got 3 or 4 fumbles in about 20 metres of play. Picks it up one hand and hits someone Wells on the chest from 35 metres, and the ball never got more than a metre above ground level.
8 disposals for the quarter, and this is a similar position to where Daniel Wells won the game against Carlton, isn't it? About 50 metres out this time. Centering ball.
Oh, well done.
Gian Syracuse, the clever spoil. Here's Harvey. And we have another boundary throw in. Just over 3 minutes remaining. And for all the good work by the Western Bulldogs early in this quarter, they've only dragged the margin back by 7 points.
Yeah, it is a shame, really, because they have dominated the quarter. They're stabilised now, the Kangaroos, starting to win a little bit more around the midfield.
Darcy with McKernan. Darcy, West was his target. He'll get a free kick.
Geez, a great player, Scotty West.
Always head over the ball.
Yeah, and I don't know whether he's got just a communication with Luke Darcy, but he knows where he's hitting the ball. He's a magnificent reader of the play.
Well, you go back to his communication with Scotty Wine. It was just as good.
Yep.
In fact, today he passes Scotty Wine on the all-time games for the Western Bulldogs.
Oh, great effort.
Into 8th spot. A wonderful player with 5 best and fairest. Only Nathan Buckley at Collingwood has more.
Well, if he gets more games than Dougie Hawkins, Dougie will be very grumpy on grumpy old men.
Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m, Kevin. Boyd. Out wide, Gian Syracuse lifted his rating. Rawlings or Grant. Brown did well with a spoil. Strong spoil, making a statement once again.
I thought Chris Grant had pushed forward then as a permanent forward, but Petrie ran down the ground. And there he is, Scotty Wine. What a fantastic player. Brownlow medalist.
Yes.
And Leon Cameron standing beside him.
He wasn't bad either, KB.
Coaches.
Robbins. And that's out of bounds on the full. Brent Harvey will bring the ball back in.
Done a good job, Matty Robbins, since he's gone on the Brent Harvey.
Yeah, it's been good, hasn't it?
He's super quick, Matty Robbins.
David Halen a spot above it.
Well, Brent Harvey, of course, kicked 3 goals, all coming in the first quarter. Did set it up for the Kangaroos. Big pack of players. Great reading off the hands by Simpson. Now he wants to set it up, just drew an opponent to Makepeace, who can use the ball very well. He can go all the way, Makepeace. Dropping in short, and Lindsay Gilbey, who along with West has been their best player. He's been very good today. Goes wide, finds Jordan McMahon. Finds Harrison, he's on centre wing. He's looking for Rawlings out in front, closing quickly was Brown, thumped it away. Ferrito is a handy player. Now the run comes again. Harvey takes him on. He's on the charge, it's showtime. Lights, camera, action. Harvey going all the way. Take a bow, take a curtain call. What a goal.
Well, he's put in his entry for goal of the year.
Oh. He's got 4.
Who said Matthew Robbins is doing a good job on Brent Harvey?
Well, he was. He had done a good job. I feel
wonder
for
you
him
got
here.
the second, Collingwood. You've got no idea, Tony.
Look at the timing of this run from Brent Harvey. And I'm just wondering where Matty Robbins is now, but gee, could have chased after Matty Robbins on that occasion. Just, he's taken him on. He said, well, can we bury the Bulldogs in one individual part of play? And I'll take it on myself. Well, that's why he's an All-Australian, isn't it?
He usually does the bow and arrow trick too, doesn't he?
That was a fist in the air.
Absolute brilliance from Brent Harvey. That will be seen many times before the end of the season as one of the contenders for goal of the year. The margin is back out to 34 points. Excellent second half of this quarter by the Bulldogs. West to Faulkner. Rawlings. Brown once again. Gee, he's been good. Colbert under the pump. Harrison the tackle. Colbert throws it back towards David King. Has a little bit of time. Stevens needs to measure the kick to Simpson. Gian Siracusa did well. Went back, forced the contest, won the free kick. Good courage. It was 2-on-1. Now he spots up Faulkner. Too far out to score. A bit of a jig. Now the short pass. That's just 15 metres. Robert Murphy. High ball. Chance for Harrison. Missed. 12-5 now the Bulldogs. Down by 33. Late in this term. And Mitchell Hahn, as Tony mentioned, that's a good contest
spoil
from him, but he's pretty sore at the moment.
Ooh.
Lee Colbert. Mitchell Hahn has a real problem with that right shoulder. Luckily, three-quarter time's not too far away. Grant, too strong for Petrie. Faulkner's in the middle once again. Can go. Thinks about Gian Siracusa. Doesn't want him. Inside 50. Ball still alive. Another behind.
I'll tell you a player, Matty, who has really stabilised for the Kangaroos is David King.
Fantastic third term.
His third term's been brilliant. Either kicking in, cross half back. 16 possessions so far, and he's got the ball in his hands right now. And there's Mitch Hahn in a bit of trouble with that shoulder.
So after half-time, the Western Bulldogs came out charging. They got it back towards 3 goals, but it's been a good second half of that quarter by the Kangaroos. And at three-quarter time, they lead by 32 points here on Fox Footy. Kangaroos looking for their 4th win of the season. They're in control at the moment. The Western Bulldogs searching for their 2nd. Grant wins the clearance, gets it forward, and that was Shannon Grant falling in the arms of Chris Grant. Kick, gee, had to be spot on. It was. Gian Siracusa, power, in trouble. Back to Gian Siracusa, West running hard. Long ball, where's Rawlings? Going back, Harrison, Johnson, quick give, Eagleton, clever, but caught. Rawlings, the tackler, did well.
Well, I don't like signs like this. As I said, I didn't think they had a loose man in the fence now. The Kangaroos have, and it looks like Chris Grant or Brian Harris, a loose man for the Bulldogs. That just releases the pressure of the Kangaroos, I think.
Brown just winning it down in front.
Well, it does leave Chris Grant loose across half-back, so he's probably got to be a little bit smart at times to filter down into the forward line.
I'd go up the half forward. One kick behind play, not 2.5 like he's playing at the moment. You've got to kick goals to win the game, KB, not save it.
Lee Brown there again with Adam Simpson and Darcy the tackler. And I guess from the point of view of the Kangaroos, they won't mind if it's a slow quarter and things get bottled up. They've got the lead. It's up to the Western Bulldogs.
You can see Chris Grant now. That's where he's got to go. Push up the ground. Petrie will go with him. And that means Brian Harris, if he's loose, he's got to push up the ground too.
Now here goes Gian Syracuse. Well, I thought he was going to go. He went to ground. Wells, quick give. Jones. No one tackled him. Out in front of McKernan. Somehow maintained possession. No one came to tackle him. High ball. Not a good kick. Still going though. Pinches it from Smith. Oh, it doesn't come back up. There's been a few of those today, isn't there?
I was just going to say that. Players have bounced the ball. It's very lush out there when we're on the ground in the pre-match. And, yeah, the ball has not bounced to them. You have to really slam it in the turf.
Well, Brent Harvey didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Boundary throw-in on 50. So a chance for the Kangaroos. And we see Motlop with the ball not coming up. Here's Harvey. Just paddling the ball along in front. And he's got the free kick. Now, there's Motlop and Boyd, and Shannon Grant, and Gian Syracuse, and Harris, and Petrie. He's over the fence. It's like World Championship Wrestling. He bounced back. All we needed was someone hit him overhead with a chair. Where's the iron bar that comes out of the shorts?
I'll tell you what, Mick Malthouse went berserk last week about players acting. That was one of the greatest dives you will see. Look at that. And the umpire's fallen for this, KB. Now, this is what's got to be taken out of the game. There was no contact to the head at all. And I agree totally with Mick Malthouse. Players like this, all right, you milk it, but gee, when umpires fall for it, that's not on.
There it goes. There's Petrie outside the ring.
Outside the ring, and there was no turnbuckle to save him.
No. His tag team partner didn't touch hands neither, so that's illegal.
Did nothing.
I think he's a great player, Brent Harvey, but he's going to get a reputation a couple of times today. He's taken better dives than Greg Laganis.
Well, this is going to be one of those check side kicks. He's kicked 4 goals. He can do anything, Brent Harvey. He's missed.
And that's one to talk about.
So you don't reckon he got hit high?
No, he got hit down the shoulder, down his body, and he just... Look at him. He oh, KB,
Let's
come on. Have a look at this. Come on. He got bumped on the side.
No, I reckon
that was
you're right,
embarrassing.
Tony. No, well picked up, Tony.
Back with the action, gentlemen. We can talk about that on the couch on Monday night as Faulkner goes long. Darcy is struggling to find it here at the moment. Hooks it in. Want to be careful. Umpire's letting it go. Eventually we have a ball up. 33 points. Kangaroos lead. Inside the forward 50 for the Dogs. Lee Brown wins the knock. Gian Syracuse. Good to see Mitchell Hahn back out on the ground. Had a bit of work on that shoulder. Quick give. Simpson got it to King. Petrie trying to keep it moving forward. Does so. Gets about 40 metres up the line.
Okay, but you mentioned about Chris Grant and Brian Harris. They're playing 2-on-1 against Petrie now. It's time to go forward. I don't think you can win the game even having a loose man. You can set up to the midfield. But for mine, either Grant or Harris has to go forward. The Kangaroos have got a loose man in defence, which is really going to hurt you. They'll save the game, and the Western Bulldogs can't win it.
Street with McKernan. McKernan winning down towards Simpson. Gian Syracuse. Now, that might be too far. It is. That's out on the full. He's had a lot of the ball of late. Wells in some space. This could be very dangerous.
Take it all the way.
With pace, long kick. Sinclair late, but coming in. Harris, too strong. Quick movement of the ball. Gilby. He's got Chris Grant running for him. Now he should move on. Chip to West. Eagleton was an option. Power was the other one. Sam Power into some space. Kicks to the goal square. Brad Johnson back there one-on-one. It's over the back. Harrison needs some support. Gets a call to Rawlings. Round the body. He has kicked it. Second goal to Jade Rawlings. A timely one for the Bulldogs. Don't know about his set shots. He snaps it quickly.
Back to 27 points.
And that man again, Scotty West, Gilby, he's been probably their second best player on the ground for the Western Bulldogs. Scotty West, best on ground by far, in the middle of the ground. Quick handball over. Power, that's what he can do. He's an 80-metre player. Power, he can run the ball and also kick it long, and that's what happened. So, yep, we're still in with the ball game here. It's still taken them nearly 7 or 8 minutes of the quarter to kick that one goal. They needed another 2 very quickly.
2 goals to Jade Rawlings. The Bulldogs now trail by 27 points. Scotty West has possession number 30. 16 kicks, 14 handballs. So Street comes charging in, taken by Mitchell Hahn, has come off the bench and pumps the ball inside 50. Cooney's forced under the ball. Colbert running with the fly of the
well
ball.
done.
Johnson gives it across. Gian Syracuse kicks a goal. The Bulldogs just might be inspired. He's got 2. He's actually lifted his rating since half-time, Gian Syracuse, and all of a sudden, the Bulldogs might have a sniff.
Well,
Troy Luff might be able to tell us, is there any breeze going right of screen, Troy?
Mate, not really. It's actually died down. If you have a look at the trees now, they're not moving at all.
well, Brad Johnson's had 7 possessions for the game, and this is what a thinking man footballer can do. You're out of the game, think about the team. How smart was that? What a great play. He took the ball, he was going to be tackled, pushed it over into Gian Syracuse's path, and he finishes off. That's very smart play. You love to see that in the footy field where everybody says there's a lot of athletes playing the game these days.
Well, they got it to 21 points halfway through the third term. That's the margin again. Will the Kangaroos steady again?
Centre-bound clearances.
Has won the free kick. He's been very important for the Dogs. Long ball again. Rawlings stood his ground, couldn't mark it. Faulkner for number 3. Oh! He's got it. 3 goals in a minute to the Western Bulldogs. They're pumped. They've got the momentum happening, and Cameron Faulkner in his debut game has kicked 3 goals.
What a great debut. 3 goals in your first game. It's all happening with Peter Street and Mitchell Hahn in the middle of the ground. Faulkner's had 8 possessions, 8 kicks and kicked 3 goals. That was a great crumbing goal. Wasn't really front and centre. The ball spills to the side of the pack. But I think it's starting in the middle of the ground, not from half-back. It's Peter Street, Scotty West and Mitch Hahn. Their centre-bounce clearances are just starting to get them back in the game.
Well, the Bulldogs trail by 35 points at the main break. 32 points at three-quarter time. There's the coach. They now trail by just 15. Fox Footy live and exclusive right around the country. And Peter Street again will try and get his hands on the ball. Mitch Hahn's been terrific from these centre square clearances. Here comes Darcy. Bulldogs inside 50. They need a loose ball. They need a crummer. This man's booted 3 goals. Faulkner goes to ground, makepeace with good clean hands. Gets the ball across to King. Happy to drill it over the line to Brady Rawlings. Still plenty of time for the Bulldogs. Just over 15 minutes left in this final quarter at Manuka Oval. Brad Johnson on screen. Not his best day, but a terrific tap on. A few moments ago, set up a goal. Darcy getting his hands on the ball. Colbert burrows his head down. Coming through is Scotty West. Burrows in after the ball once more. An inspiration to the Bulldogs, Scotty West today. And a ball up. There's the stats. 32 Scotty West, coming off a fantastic game last week of 27 possessions again. There's Simpson on 23. He's coming off a best last week of 30 as well. Chance for the Bulldogs. Ball up inside 50. Darcy to Harrison. Taken away by West. Does a 360. Back to Gian Syracuse. West on hands and knees. Back to Hahn. Great smother off the boot. Chance for Faulkner. The young man. Can he keep control? He can. Kept his footing. Grant gets the ball back. Gian Syracuse. Hahn just couldn't quite tickle it. A touch of the fumbles. Faulkner, the chaser and the tackler. Loose ball. Grant takes it across half-back for the Kangaroos. Cooney chases hard, goes wide looking for Jones. Flows in quickly, that time was Harris. Pounced on by Wells. Can he set it up? Great play by Harris. The Bulldogs across half-back with great spirit. Mitchell Hahn stands and delivers a high ball. Eagleton running with the fly of the ball. Couldn't take it. In the back. Not paid to the Bulldogs. Faulkner, they're getting very tired. Back to Harrison. To the square. Harrison kicks a goal. Can you believe this? What a comeback by the Bulldogs. Ben Harrison has kicked a goal, and the Bulldogs are within 9 points.
Take a break, Kate. How much pressure was on that last 2 minutes, Tony?
Oh, it was fantastic play. They really want this game done, and the Western Bulldogs all came off the middle. I thought Harris was fantastic across half-back. Mitch Hahn again got involved. He had a few short players on, but to his credit, he kicked the ball into the area where he could score goals. A couple of quick handballs, and there's Harrison, who's had a quiet day, but a great snap over the shoulder. Good work by Darcy in the square too to shepherd it through.
9-point margin, 4 goals to a point in this last term, and they're going again. Murphy sidestepping, long ball. Still at ground level. Eagleton. Wasn't to be, but they're just doing all the attacking at the moment. Still 13 minutes remaining.
Well,
plenty of time for both teams to kick plenty of goals.
Well, they've lost 3 games this year by 2 goals or less, the Bulldogs.
Yep.
They've been so competitive.
And there's Street punching it forward. Harvey. Scott West leads Ferrito in the race for the ball. They were even handballing to him before when he's on the ground. So here you have another one. What a performance by Scott West, and the acknowledgement from Daniel Giansiracusa, who has had an excellent second half. McKernan in the ruck now with Darcy. Over the top came Simpson. Grant gave it back to him. A headlock from Giansiracusa. Umpire's still going to bounce that up. Hasn't gone out of play. Wonderful start to this final term by the Western Bulldogs. Some great pressure footy.
That's like schoolboy umpiring, isn't it? He comes in the schoolyard and said, move out of the way, boys, go back to your position. I'm going to bounce the ball.
And no one pays any attention.
No.
Harvey breaks the tackle and kicks long. Chris Grant with Petrie down at ground level. Wells didn't get it this time. Petrie, good pick up. Murphy was awake to it.
There's been some intensity from the Bulldogs in this final quarter.
Here's Brent Harvey. He's gone down again.
Oh.
We'll talk about that a bit more, Tony, shortly. Corey Jones outside the 50, long ball. Sinclair underneath it. The spoil came. Who's at ground level? Power. Smith. Sinclair. Clayton. Still Sinclair. Mitchell Hahn trying to rob it again.
And Watlop's gone.
He's hurt his shoulder, I think.
And just heading towards the goal square at the moment.
And Brian Harris has gone with him. That's not a great matchup, you wouldn't think, for the Western Bulldogs. Watlop would be too quick, but Harris better in the air. And there it is, just there. Put the hand down on the ground and the shoulder might have just come out a little
Maybe
bit.
Hope extended something there. We'll follow that shortly. We're back with Robbins, Jones, Grant, Sinclair. They're going backwards, but they still maintain possession. Clayton gets a call out the side. Great spoil by Murphy. Grant was within range, and he could have banged it through. And Motlop's coming off. That's a real problem for the Kangaroos.
Well, it looked like he put his... Here's a replay. He put his hand on the ground, Matty, didn't he? It wasn't there. Just when he put his hand on the ground, maybe the elbow or the shoulder popped out.
Shoulder. Oh, gee.
No contact at all, but it was all trying to get balanced with his hand on the ground.
Straight down in the room, so a bad sign for Daniel Motlop. Getting pretty dark here at Manuka. Not so the game. It's alive and well. Look out. Simpson. Great smother by Power. It's still alive for Sinclair. Smith diving in. Free kick. The dive from Smith. Will advantage be paid? It has. It's a goal. And now Smith's got a problem. Both teams committed to the contest, both diving in hard, but paying the penalty at the moment. A bit of breathing space, Tony, for the Kangaroos.
Well, he was unlucky, wasn't he, in that Rowan Smith, the ball came forward, he missed the mark, and then, of course, there you can see Rowan Smith on the ground trying to make up for the missed mark. The ball spills out to Simpson, and he kicks a goal on the advantage from the umpire.
Well, it was a brave attempt by Smith too. He just nearly hung on to that mark. So the Kangaroos by 15 points. Still plenty of time for the Bulldogs. Rowan Smith. It was a hectic and heated couple of minutes.
Great punch.
Thump forward. That's a 45-metre punch. Chance now for Johnson. Can he kick a goal? 45 metres out. Bending it back. Chris Johnson! What a comeback goal! The Bulldogs won't let go here at Manuka Oval. They are not going to go away today, the Bulldogs. And that man has really struggled all day. He's done a couple of great things in this last quarter.
What about
great
this
tap on.
punch?
This is the biggest punch ever in the history of AFL football.
The punch of the year.
All my handballs combined never went that far.
Well, 3 of my kicks never went that far.
And what a great finish.
That's his first kick for the quarter. He set up a goal before with a brilliant tap on, using his brain on that occasion. Fantastic conversion.
Dean Laidley with plenty of work to do still in the Kangaroos box as Gian Syracusa to Murphy, sidestepping, high ball. One for the courageous Bowden. Johnson again. Cooney, caught.
He's just got to learn, I think, Cooney, to push off stronger too.
Yeah.
Just push off stronger. Put your hand in their chest and just spin yourself away.
Well, we're jumping up and down in this box, KB, because everything's lifted, but he's also got to get his arms up in the air when he's going to get tackled to get the handball off. But he'll learn that with the game. A lot of pressure out there.
Fantastic atmosphere at Manuka in this tight last term as Simpson gets it forward, only as far as Scott West, who's been outstanding. The kick goes, slides off the side to Murphy.
I don't think it did slide off. I reckon he saw it.
Vision.
I think he was going for Harrison.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, I know, but I think he was going for Harrison. But Murphy has a real chance. He's kicked 1-1, and that second set shot of his, he would have been disappointed with that. A chance to atone. 33 disposals for West. Murphy to get the Bulldogs within 3 points. They've kicked 5 already for the quarter. Right on the 50. And he make it 6. Oh, you'd better believe it. Goal umpire didn't move. Murphy's got 2. The Doggies are rampant. The Doggies are within a kick.
Look, what a great comeback by this team, the Western Bulldogs. They have kicked 6 goals in this quarter to 1 to get them back in the game. And, of course, we know the silky skills of Murphy. He would have been disappointed with his last miss, but that to split the centre. We have got a ball game. And I tell you what, the Kangaroos at the moment, they need a spark. I don't know who it can be, but someone needs to mark the ball in their forward line if they get it there.
This is a killer diller at Manuka Oval on Fox Footy. Live and exclusive right around the country. The Bulldogs have come from 32 points down. They trail by just 3. Harrison gets the ball at ground level. King has to kick hurriedly. Chance for the Bulldogs. And Mitch Harner's marked. He's had a crook shoulder. He's been on and off the ground. He's been inspirational in the second half as well. Can the Bulldogs hit the front? Can they take a mark? A big pack of players. Cooney, the young man, the $1 million man, the Faulkner. He's been at 3. He's caught in the tackle. Couldn't get the handball away. He's been pinged.
Well, Cooney learnt, didn't he, KB? He got his hands clear a lot quicker, and Faulkner did it. So hopefully next chance he gets, and he will get another chance, he'll learn from that.
Makepeace finds the loose player in Simpson, the skipper. Can he slow things down? Take a breath for the Kangaroos. The Bulldogs are within 3 points. Grant, the skipper.
Gee, I know you've got to win the game, but sometimes you've got to make a decision. Chris Grant, confidence in his ability, maybe punch the ball back 30 yards and say, oh, this is disciplined stuff. But they're trying to win the game. They've got to get a goal in front here.
That punch we saw from Luke Darcy before, we'll speak about that for a long time. Kangaroos just sharing it now. Daniel Wells, maybe a bit of magic, goes wide, looking for McKernan. Nearly took a one-hander. Follows up, caught by Jan Syracuse in the tackle. Good effort by Syracuse. Gilby's been outstanding today for the Bulldogs. Kept them in the game in the first half. High ball, Grant makes ground and takes a chest mark. And the loose player is looking for Clayton. Took it on the half volley. McKernan closing quickly. That was Harris. He did well. Gilby goes to ground. Jones was a tackler. And we've got a ball up for the Kangaroos just 40 metres out from goal.
Well, Chris Grant, we talked about that punch back, where that boundary throw-in came from. They kicked the ball forward, the Kangaroos got in there forward 50. If you punch it the other way, you're going to get to half, or nearly the wing.
Here's the skipper, Simpson. A high ball. Important. Jones running with the flight, not paid. Didn't quite hold it. Grant somehow just tickled the ball along the ground. Going in hard was Makepeace. Take a bow. Tremendous play. Clayton bounces to his feet. Gets it back. They backtrack. Retreat. Conceded ground. Standing his ground was Stevens. Goes wide. Wells has got it. A dangerous player. Wells sets it up. McKernan. Straight through the fingertips. Sinclair goes to ground. Mitchell Hahn will keep his body on line. Scotty West, the playmaker, the general, has been magnificent. Possession number 35. And Simpson, a captain's mark. Back to Colbert. Quick change of pace, finds Clayton.
Well, it might be a change of pace. The game has it. Gee, the intensity is incredible.
Geez, we're seeing some heroics all around the ground, aren't we? And it looks like Corey Jones has come off the boundary line. He's come straight up the ground, so he won't go back on the ground at all. Hasn't moved off the interchange.
So Ferrito's on, but more importantly, Daniel Wells has the footy. He's marked inside 50. Very important this. We saw him kick that wonderful goal to win the game against Carlton with the pressure right on the 50-metre line. Similar distance, almost directly in front. An easier kick, in fact.
The Kangaroos told us after that game that he was the go-to man, that if you wanted to kick a goal,
well, there's Corey Jones. He's out for the day.
Well, he walked straight over the boundary line, so he cannot come back on the ground.
Yep. Wells from 45 gets underneath it. It's going left. It hits the post. There's still less than a kick in it. Problems for the Roos on the bench. Motlop off. Jones off. Score check. 18-10, 18-6. 5 minutes remaining. Rowan Smith.
Will he belt it long, Tony?
He wants to go long.
I'm looking in the middle. Mitch Hahn's in the centre of the ground. Goes to Darcy.
Darcy!
Oh, great grab.
Superman.
Hahn's on.
Hahn is the target. Gets a favourable bounce. Oh, he's running out of petrol.
Guess who's there to help him?
The unleaded man. The premium man, Scott West.
Just had to do a little bit better there, Mitch Hahn. Just a little bit better. Kicked the ball long.
4.5 minutes remaining. Boundary throw in. Outer side. Darcy and Petrie. Wells. It's been good. Dribbles it forward. Wastes a little bit of time. What a comeback by the Bulldogs. Gee, they love a close game, don't they?
Well, look, they're missing 3,000 members from last year. If you're a Bulldog member or supporter, go out and buy yourself a membership ticket and get on board, because this side's got some heart.
And they're valued for money, KB.
And he's still at it. Robbins. Clock ticking. Six goals straight. Hasn't their kicking been super? In this quarter to 1-1. Mitchell Hahn. Here's Harvey. Doesn't get a kind bounce. Cooney arrives. Harvey still with it. Goes back to King. Steps around and then drives it back to where it just came from.
It's out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Stepped over the line.
Inside the last 4 minutes. It's a thriller here at Monaco.
Just at the moment, all the stop plays, the ball, when it goes up, the Bulldogs are punching the ball as far as they can, KB, but then you saw Brent Harvey 10 metres off the pack waiting for it. Maybe got to vary it just a little bit, that's all, couple now and then.
Petrie and Darcy.
Oh, well done.
Wells. Good tackle by Murphy, loose ball, Jan Syracuse got his hand out to it, taken by Stevens, being pinched. Big play here. Rowan Smith, he's got Sinclair to beat. Paddles the ball long in front. Didn't take control. Sees the ball over the line for a toss back in. Just 20 metres around from the Kangaroos' goal. They lead by 4 points, 18-10, 1-18. Plays 18-6, 1-14. They led by 32 points at three-quarter time. The Bulldogs, in an heroic last quarter, are within 4 points. Petrie takes the front position. Picks up the crumb. Quick snap. Bouncing. Across the face of goal. And through for a minor score. They lead by 5.
Luke Darcy somehow here, I think Luke Darcy has to get on the end of this ball. Hopefully up the corridor, but Drew Petrie's there, they're played on. Oh.
It was a desperate lunge by Gian Siracusa. Couldn't take it. It's 70 metres from the Kangaroos' goal. It's on the half-back flank for the Bulldogs. 3.5 minutes left. Darcy over the back. Mitch Hahn. He's got a heart as big as a cabbage, I reckon. Goes to half forward looking for Harrison. Taken away by Colbert from King. Here's Wells. He looks fresh. He looks fresh, doesn't he? He's got spring in the feet.
14th possession.
Goes short. Harvey marks. He's kicked 4 goals. A team lifting goal in the third term. You would have thought it could have sealed it for the Kangaroos. But the Bulldogs have been supreme in this last quarter. Kangaroos trying to hang on. Well, he kicks it back 35-40 metres to centre-half back to Brown. So it's a different tact. Goes wide. Getting to the ball. Johnson on centre wing. Kicks the space. Looks for Rawlings. Can he keep the ball alive? Smashed over the fence. Strong body pressure by Brown. And we've got a boundary throw in.
Under enormous pressure. I just wonder whether he could have tapped the ball on knowing the pressure was coming from Brown.
This is going to be one of the last rolls of the dice for the Bulldogs. They need to win a possession at half forward. It's tied up in the tackle.
There's still 2 minutes remaining, but the players will look up at the clock here at Monaco and see that it's almost 30 minutes gone. And they'll start to think, well, there's not much time left.
Only one quick kick forward. That's what they need, the Bulldogs.
Petrie. Eagleton pushed out of the contest, taken by Petrie, tumbles the ball forward. The race is on. McKernan in front of Grant. Worked off the ball, taken by Gilby. Goes short, and it's marked by Hahn.
Well, we've mentioned many times he's been brilliant. KB reckons he's got a heart the size of a cabbage, whatever that means.
Get it in the 50
Hahn
zone.
drives it long. Where's Rawlings?
Good kick.
Big pack over the back. Cooney knocks it forward. King first there for the Roos. He'll want the boundary, and he found it. Good experience there. Dean Laidley watching on. Nothing he can do now. 90 seconds remains.
Luke Darcy over the back of the pack here. Someone running onto it towards goal.
Plenty of players
There it is.
there. Hahn couldn't get it. Brown, Sinclair, some time to save now for the Roos. Simpson just kicks to space. Harris with Jones. Harris arrives. They go to ground.
Well done.
First up is Harris. Bangs it back forward. Not a good kick. Rawlings there. It beats them over the line. Gee.
It was a perfect ruck play by Luke Darcy. He had Mitchell Hahn and Eagleton running. They just didn't quite get it. It was well read by the Kangaroos as well, but it was great ruck work.
Geez, an improved player, Brian Harris, though. That was good body work. Not a bad kick, under pressure in the end.
They're going to milk it here. King
Well, the
to
Bulldogs
Rawlings.
have got to pick up a player if that's the case.
They've got 60 seconds to force a turnover.
Man on man.
And when they do force the turnover, they have to kick a goal.
Well, you can't play on your man. You've got to be right on him. You
Play
can't.
on. High ball. No one there at all. Faulkner and Makepeace. Faulkner. There's the turnover. Just got, oh dear. Mitchell Hahn to the goal square. Oh no, it's still alive. No, yes, no, yes. Johnson. Miraculous. It is a goal.
Can you believe it? The Bulldogs are in front. 32 points down. There's only a few seconds to go. And that man who struggled all day,
He struggled to kick it.
it was on the ground. The Bulldogs are in front. This could be one of the greatest wins in this club's history. It could turn around the whole fortunes of the Western Bulldogs.
And those 3,000 members who haven't paid
Sign up
now. I tell you what,
game's not over.
He's been brilliant in this quarter. 2 goals himself. He set one up. But gee, what a great comeback. Oh, unbelievable football.
27 seconds. Still time for the Kangaroos. McKernan gets a fist of the ball. Scott West goes to ground. Is it in the back? Not paid. Scott West somehow to Mitchell Hahn. Wells goes in hard for the ball. Caught high was Darcy. A big play. Got to have a big punch from behind, taken by McKernan. Jihad Syracuse heads to the boundary line. I think the Bulldogs have pulled up a memorable victory. Listen to the roar, because the siren's going to sound. Oh! The Bulldogs have won at Manuka Oval. They've won by a point. They've come from 32 points down. David Smorgan, take a bow. I saw him at half-time. He said we'll have to come back with one of our greatest ever victories. He'll be so proud. The Bulldogs have achieved the impossible.
This is what the game of football's all about. I thought they were gone and out, 30-odd points. I think they got the lead back. They hadn't had it since the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. But congratulations to the Western Bulldogs. I think they're a club that you just love to follow. There's not many times they're not involved in the game. They're not competitive. Gee, you feel disappointed for the Kangaroos, but when someone wins like that, KB, you're only looking at it from one side, don't you? And we see David Smorgan then. You know, he said to me, I saw him for the game too, KB. His wife, Rosalind, and he were in the rooms and I went for a run. And he said, look, if we don't, this is a really important game to win because of the membership, but in the entirety of the year, how important to get this club going again. That's what football's about, and gee, if I'm excited, as Big Kev would say.